last week during a traffic stop. She is still very serious at a hospital in Dayton as she continues to fight for her life. A vote of no confidence by Indy's police officers against Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears and Marion County's court system.
We've documented story after story for 3 years now that are heinous incidents that have resulted in serious bodily injury or death of victims throughout our community.
FOP President Rick Snyder, he says prosecutors and judges consistently lower bonds for repeat offenders who he says then go out and commit more crimes. Snyder telling Guy Relford on Tony Katz today that they are fed up. 2 separate shootings overnight, 1 person injured in both. The first was just after midnight, a man wounded near 21st and North Ritter. The second shooting hours later at a BP station near Raymond and Shelby. A man wounded there as well, both men recovering at the hospital. After another Hoosier arrested for being at the Capitol riot on January 6th. Harrison Silcox reports.
Ian Horvath called the FBI about a year ago after he saw himself in wanted photos on the department's website. Court documents say Horvath, who's from Plymouth, went to Washington, D.C. with someone else and entered the building through doors that had been breached. He faces several charges, including 2 for violent entry into Capitol grounds. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
It came down to the game's final play.
Hall on the ground is short. Hard hit. Race to second. Throw to first. That's high. All red is coming. There's no play. Indiana will win it.
The call on ESPN as an errant throw from Iowa allowed Indiana to score the winning run in their 8-7 victory at the Little League World Series Thursday. Next up, the team from Hagerstown will face either Tennessee or Utah on Monday. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
Northbound 69, crash at 465. It's on the right shoulder, not fouling us up here too much. Inbound 65 stops at 21st Street to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today. I'm Matt Baer with Traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
A $2,000 energy-saving credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient B windows, siding, and doors. Up to $2,000 energy credit and no payments, no interest for up to 22 months.
Don't miss the Colts kickoff concert at Lucas Oil Stadium on September 9th from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a one-of-a-kind celebration of football and music with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band.
No good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good.
Experience the world's greatest guitar collection, presidential artifacts, sports memorabilia from Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and much more. And for the first time ever, Colts fans will get to see up close historic Colts memorabilia from Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and more. The evening will be topped off with a free concert by the all-star Jim Irsay Band, featuring special guests Ann Wilson of Heart and the legendary Buddy Guy.
I'm right, I got the blues.
That's one night only with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Friday, September 9th, 7 to 10 p.m. at Lucas Oil Stadium. Get your free ticket at JimIrsayCollection.com.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunny skies, really nice temperatures to wrap up the work week. Today's high around 84. Tonight we are partly cloudy, quiet and comfortable, a low down to 66. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
68 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, August 19th, and things that are trending this hour. Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns quarterback, has been suspended for 11 games and fined $5 million after the settlement with the NFL.
Have you been following this?
Slightly.
This is the most ridiculous thing ever, and the National Football League is a big, giant, hypocritical, disingenuous joke. So just I didn't mean to start the show on a tangent, but I'm going to start the show on a tangent.
It's Friday.
Because so Deshaun Watson was the quarterback for the Houston Texans. I realize many people will know this, but we always have new people coming in who may not be aware. So he was the quarterback for the Houston Texans. He's accused of inappropriate contact with upwards of 30 massage therapists. And I don't need to go into graphic detail on a family-oriented program, but he was a fan of the massage continuing far longer than many of us expect. We'll just leave it at that. So these women sue him. Last year, the Houston Texans decide not to play him, but he still gets paid. So whatever he made an exorbitant amount of money and didn't go to work. Then the Texans say, look, we're done with this guy. This is more drama than it's worth, even though no criminal charges were filed against him. These cases are all playing out in civil court. So we're going to trade him. Well, as part of the deal, he could basically dictate the terms of his trade, because if you were going to trade him to a team and he says, I don't want to play there, well, a team's not going to give up a horde of draft picks for a player who doesn't want to play there. So they facilitate a trade to the Cleveland Browns, who are year in and year out one of the worst run franchises in the National Football League. So in order to get a player of Deshaun Watson's caliber to go to the Cleveland Browns, they have to offer him an ungodly amount of money, which at the time was the largest guaranteed contract in the history of the National Football League. So the Cleveland Browns, because no one wants to play there, basically bribed this guy to come to Cleveland.
Pay him a whole lot of money.
$230 million guaranteed. Now, the way they scam the system is they say, look, the National Football League is going to rule on something with this guy because there's disciplinary hearings looming, etc. So he might get a sizable suspension this year. So in order to rig the system in favor of this guy, to bribe him to come to Cleveland, we will agree to pay him $1 million of the $230 million we owe him, so that if he does get suspended, well, it'll be a pittance of what he's supposed to be paid. So they go through this legal hearing process, a neutrally agreed upon between the Players Association and the league arbiter, former judge, I believe, rules, okay, 6-game suspension, and there is a fine. I can't remember exactly what the fine was, but again, it was a pittance compared to what he would make. So then they appeal. The NFL appeals the suspension because, this is so unjust. He violated all these women. We must stand up for the women. We must do it for the women, Casey.
Sure.
And so they go to the appeals process. Well, in the appeals process, the league commissioner either hears the case or appoints the person who hears the case. So that sounds completely unjust on its face, but whatever. And then yesterday, before the ruling by this person who was supposed to hear the appeal, they come to an agreement, the league and the Players Association, that Deshaun Watson will serve an 11-game suspension and get a $5 million fine. He's going to make $230 million, Casey?
Yeah, the fine is nothing.
Okay. Let's
Coincidentally, though, the suspension of games...
Yes.
11.
Yes.
Is that significant for any reason?
You might be saying that's a very weird number.
Why 11?
Week 12. Who do the Cleveland Browns play in Week 12, Casey?
His former team.
The Houston Texans. So the NFL, for all its bravado and all its bullcrap and all its we're going to stand up for the women, we believe all women, we're all about the women, gave him a fine that is a pittance of the large amount of money that he will make over the life of that contract, and they stopped the suspension when the game will be on that everyone will want to see because the NFL is full of crap. and my dad and I were talking about this last night. We were watching the Bears preseason game, and I said, there is something wholly unjust about the fact that people every day go out and live good and decent lives, work hard, play by the rules, and struggle to make ends meet. And this guy, Deshaun Watson, who is a complete piece of trash, has already made more money than most people will make in 10 lifetimes, and is about to make that double, triple all over again, and is rewarded for this terrible, awful behavior. And this right here is why people get it in their heads to hate capitalism. They shouldn't hate capitalism. But when they see the guy, the CEO who wrecks the banking company, who gets a $60 million golden parachute, or they see someone like Deshaun Watson, who is a complete piece of human trash, get rewarded time and time and time again, and yet people who play by the rules and do good and decent work in life and struggle to get ahead, this is why people get turned off by capitalism, because they see scumbags and dirtballs get ahead while they continue to suffer.
This doesn't turn me off of capitalism. This turns me off of the NFL. And that is why I am always much more of a college football fan.
So I didn't mean to totally derail the first part of the show, but I saw that yesterday. I just thought everyone is full of crap. The National Football League, oh, what a coincidence. It's an 11-game suspension. Boy, that's a really weird number. Yeah, week 12, the Texans play the Browns.
Not a coincidence after all. Also trending this hour, we have the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They have a new song coming out called Tip of My Tongue. I listened to it. I previewed it. It's catchy. I think radio stations will play it. And finally, trending, the U.S. Mullet Championships are underway. Yes, this has been happening since 2020. The race has been whittled down to 25 contestants. The voting closes tomorrow. It is 13 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And Alex Jones has withdrawn his support for Donald Trump and thrown his weight behind Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. I did a little play on words there for you.
Boy, he looks like he ate a house, too. I do not regularly participate in the Alex Jones, whatever that is, propaganda office of misinformation, whatever you want to call that he does every day.
And I know that you don't notice people's appearances either.
But I do notice when they're as big as a house. I will notice that if you cannot fit through that door behind you, or would struggle to fit through that door behind you, I do notice that. And man, that dude needs to step away from the buffet table.
Is it possible to decline an endorsement? Like, no thanks, I'm good.
So if you're Ron, so Alex Jones obviously is this, I don't even know, he's a provocateur. He's a merchant of disinformation. He is another just piece of human trash who gives everybody in our business a bad name for people like us who take great pride in trying to get information right. It's not as that his opinions are wrong. It's as we saw in this case where he just got sued and lost against the Sandy Hook family, that he just makes stuff up to fit a narrative. He's a clown. He's a joke. He's a loser. He has come out now, and he was a gigantic Donald Trump supporter the first time around. I think he stood behind him again in 2020, and now has endorsed Ron DeSantis.
If you're Ron DeSantis, do you want that endorsement? He said that he actually didn't want to back Trump last time, but he believed he needed to keep Trump in power to prevent the, quote, nightmare scenario of Joe Biden being elected.
Okay, so we've got a little audio here of Alex Jones endorsing Ron DeSantis.
I am supporting DeSantis. DeSantis is just gone from being awesome to being unbelievably good. And I don't just watch a man's actions, as Christ said, judge a tree by its fruits. I can also look in his eyes on HD video, and I see the real sincerity. This is what Trump should be like. And I've been hammering this point, and he's doing it now. And we have someone that is better than Trump, way better than Trump.
Okay, everything he said was accurate. I mean, that's kind of in a box here.
That's the surprise here.
Because, yes, everything he said was wholly accurate. But if you're DeSantis, aren't you like, really?
I'm good, thanks. Next. Now Alex Jones can read someone through their eyes. Well, we've got a lot of affidavit talk going on, and we'll get into that next from 93 WIBC.
The WIBC app.
I love it.
One of the most profound inventions of the modern era. Ta-da! Keeping you informed and up to date from the convenience of your phone.
Here's what's trending.
Donnie Burgess, 93.
The conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
Gas prices have been falling.
I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5.
I'm John Herrick.
The WIBC app.
Download the app
so that you know what's going on in the world.
In the App Store or online. Ta-da! At 93 WIBC.
Imagine if McDonald's was always within reach. Chicken McNuggets, golden crispy fries, all in the palm of your hand. With the McDonald's app, you don't have to imagine. Exclusive deals on all your delicious favorites are just a tap away.
Did someone say free fries? Download the McDonald's app and get a large order of fries on us. Valid one time only through the last day of the month for first-time app users at participating McDonald's. May take up to 48 hours to appear in deals. Download and registration required.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Kindergarten? It's closer than you think. Will your child be ready? Let us help with On My Way Pre-K. Your child may qualify for high-quality pre-K right here, close to home. And it could be free. Indiana's On My Way Pre-K program is the best way to ensure your 4-year-old is ready for kindergarten. Get information and eligibility requirements at onmywayprekk.org. When you want what's best for your child, you want On My Way Pre-K.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialist can handle any AC repair. Call 855-1 Hour for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay a dime.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. And I can structure that loan where you can miss a few months on mortgage payments. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
He's out of control.
And Casey Daniels.
Isn't she the best?
On 93 WIBC.
It's the end of the world.
A federal judge told the Justice Department to prepare a redacted version of the affidavit from the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago. It opens the door to more public information. Trump has called for the release of the affidavit behind the search warrant. His lawyer, Christina Bobb, arrived in court yesterday. She said she was just there to observe. She didn't do anything. She's just there watching, listening, waiting.
Yeah, the primary driver on this is a group of media agencies, and rightfully so. They have told the federal government, they've said, look, this is of profound national interest, which is often how judges and courts will decide on whether things should be out in the public ether. You know, what societal impact does this have? And they have rightfully said, these media agencies, look, what the contents of what you showed a court in order to raid the home of a former president, likely to be the Republican nominee for president in a couple of years, is a profound public interest, and the public has a right to know. And so the judge came out yesterday and said, I'm inclined to agree with the lawyers for these media companies. I am giving the federal government a week to submit the affidavit redacted with whatever they think should be redacted, and then we can go from there on what should or should not be redacted based on the initial submission from the federal government. So it was a big win for these media companies, and their lawyer addressed the press yesterday after the judge's comments.
All right.
I feel good about today's hearing. Judge Reinhart seemed to have a very good sense that it is his job as the gatekeeper in this case to perform his function of balancing the interest in the public of accessing these materials against the interest in the government in keeping them secret. Judge Reinhart gave us some clues to that today by telling us, for example, that at this juncture he is not inclined to keep the entirety of the search warrant application and its affidavit under seal, meaning that he understands that the public is going to likely be entitled to some parts of this warrant application and its affidavit. He will consider redactions proposed by the Department of Justice, which are due to him August 25th. He will accept any briefing of the Department of Justice on those redactions. He will review those materials, and he will enter an order specifying what information, if any, will remain sealed and inaccessible to the public.
So the special agent's name was redacted on the warrant.
Well, here's the broader question for people. Why is the government, who clearly went forward with engaging in this process, why are they concerned about, and why were they fighting from getting any of this out into the public? I mean, on its face, if one person wants something hidden and the other person wants it out there, there's a reason somebody wants something hidden versus the person who wants it out there. Now, is that true 110% of the time? No. But the majority of the time, in this case, Trump saying, yeah, put it out there. If there were uber damaging evidence against Trump in this affidavit,
he wouldn't want it out there.
Right, versus the government, if they had, again, as I said, if they had the Holy Grail, they'd be holding it up like Simba, in Lion King. And they are trying to be, as government often is, super secretive about this process. So good win for the media, and hopefully the majority of this will not be redacted so we can figure out as a society what's going on here.
Trump also has a official Trump Defense Fund because of this. He can use this as an opportunity to fundraise, which he is. He's already raised more than $100 million. And he can take that money and put it into any one of his PACs.
Yeah.
So it's a fundraising tool for him now. Let's move on to Brian Stetler. He's leaving CNN. The network has canceled the show Reliable Sources. This is after 30 years of being on the air. Of course, CNN has a new CEO, and the new CEO has said that CNN is going to take a new direction, but they've seen their reputation tumble just a little bit. New management is seeking to turn down the temperature of CNN, make things a little bit more bipartisan.
Well, and obviously CNN, much like MSNBC, has encountered that in a post-Trump world when the vast majority of your audience was built around hate listeners. When you don't have that guy in power anymore, those listeners go away. People were not listening because of compelling content. There was a reason for years and years and years and years Fox News was overwhelmingly number one. And you can say whatever you want about the guy as a person, whatever, and that's open for debate. But Bill O'Reilly was a phenomenally talented broadcaster. He was a phenomenally talented interviewer. He was highly entertaining. People tuned in, whether Republicans were in power or Democrats were in power, because Bill O'Reilly was really good at what he did. And CNN does not have that level of talent around them, and they are essentially hate merchants. That's what they peddle. And to their credit, the new boss over at CNN has now decided we've got to try to figure out a way to get regular people to watch this show, because when Trump is not in office, our ratings are horrific.
Mm-hmm. I did some shopping yesterday.
Oh.
We've been recommended to get more green appliances, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I did some shopping for us, and I'll share some prices with you. And also changes happening at the Indiana State House. We'll get into that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Don't miss the Colts kickoff concert at Lucas Oil Stadium on September 9th from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a one-of-a-kind celebration of football and music with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Experience the world's greatest guitar collection, presidential artifacts, sports memorabilia from Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and much more. And for the first time ever, Colts fans will get to see up close historic Colts memorabilia from Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and more. The evening will be topped off with a free concert by the all-star Jim Irsay Band, featuring special guests Ann Wilson of Heart and the legendary Buddy Guy.
I got the blues.
That's one night only with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Friday, September 9th, 7 to 10 p.m. at Lucas Oil Stadium. Get your free ticket at JimIrsayCollection.com.
Hey, good morning. It's Casey. And this weekend I plan on spending some time in my garage. What? What's wrong with that? If you had Galaxy Concrete Coatings do work in your garage, you'd probably want to hang out there too because it looks fantastic. The color won't fade. It's stronger, 4 times stronger than epoxy. Call them and see what they can do for your space. Their number, 317-751-9070. You can find them online too at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Are you an experienced financial planner looking to grow your business but struggling to find new clients? This is Casey Weed, CEO of Howard Bailey Financial, and we need your help. Our mission at Howard Bailey is to elevate the meaning and purpose in the lives of others, leveraging our proprietary Retire with Purpose framework that has done so in the lives of thousands across the country. Maybe you're frustrated by your big box employer because they won't provide you all the tools you need to best serve your clients. Maybe you're ready to become a true fiduciary. Maybe you're tired of the cookie cutter approach that puts all your clients in the same box. Or maybe your clients need tax planning advice, but your firm won't let you talk taxes. You've noticed how fast we've grown, and now we need your help to satisfy demand. We're seeking experienced financial planners with a passion to help others, so we don't have to turn those that need our help away. Call 866-482-9559 or visit howardbailey.com to apply today.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Dear driver, thank you. Thank you for slowing down when you saw the orange cones and road construction signs. My husband is one of those road workers. And today, you saved his life. If you hadn't slowed down, you would have missed that lane change, driven right into the work zone, and you would have killed him. Because you were driving differently. He'll be at our son's Little League game this weekend. He'll be there to walk our daughter down the aisle. He'll be out there tomorrow, making Indiana's roads safer. Thank you.
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Joe Bulk, business manager of Labor's Local 204. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Still in legal limbo. It's sunny and 71 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Only partial approval for its release now, but Fox's Eben Brown reports on what's next for the documents related to the raid of former President Trump's home.
The U.S. magistrate is giving the federal government a week to propose redactions, but otherwise the magistrate seems to be inclined to unseal the affidavit. Lawyers for news organizations believe confidential informant identities. The Department of Justice says much of the affidavit is sensitive and they believe a crime may have been committed. In West Palm Beach, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is cooling off expectations that Republicans will regain control of the Senate in November's midterm elections. On Thursday, McConnell told a Chamber of Commerce audience in northern Kentucky there's a greater likelihood Republicans will take control of the House. And now the stock report. We are in the red big time to start the day. The Dow was down 174 to 33,807. The Nasdaq down 136 to 13,388. And the S&P 500 is down 31 to 4,255. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's Hammer and Nigel here for friends at Window Nation. Back to school time is here, and Window Nation can help you get an A+ in savings right now. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy and pay nothing until 2025. As the temperatures soar, so do your energy bills with old, inefficient windows. Stay cool, lower those bills, and raise the value of your home with new Energy Star efficient windows.
Window Nation has expertly installed over 1 million windows, rewarding and increasing value in over 150,000 homes, all with over 96% needing no follow-up service. That is an A+. Get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. Buy 4, get 4 for free. There's no limit. Plus, make no down payment, no payments, no interest until 2025. You'll save big during Window Nation's back-to-school sale. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers, certified electronics recycling. Visit tech-recyclers.com. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Should I stay or should I go?
Changes at the State House. Senate Pro Tem Rod Bray announced that Chris Garton would be the new majority floor leader of the Senate Majority Caucus. Okay, Rob, it's time for class. What does the majority floor leader do?
So here is how I would describe this. And okay, in the Senate, because we're talking about the Indiana Senate, and we're going to get into just how, once again, horrific our pal Colonel Parker Bray, Rod Bray, the greatest snowman in the Indiana General Assembly is. But Rod Bray is what they call the pro tem of the Senate. So if you think about it in terms of military, like if you had a great military conquest that you were attempting to enact, like Dwight Eisenhower was not storming the beaches at Normandy. He was not at Omaha Beach, pointing the baton and yelling, "Charge." The pro tem oversees the larger business of the Senate. He will largely set the agenda. He is the 30,000-foot view person most of the time. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
The floor leader is, in many cases, the person who's meeting with the committee chairs. He's on the floor working with the rank and file. This is the person that is your day-to-day operations in charge of enacting the larger views set forth by the pro tem of the Senate. So you will remember that old Colonel Parker Bray, whatever this was, about a month ago now. Boy, how much we've grown, Casey, in the past month. As the Birds once famously said, I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. Old Colonel Parker Bray, Rod Bray, strolled out to a microphone and presented Senate Bill 1, which was the abortion bill. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the worst. It was one of the worst written bills, as we talked about at the time, only eclipsed by his plan for tax reform to suspend utility payments and call it a day in terms of trying to help you. And it was like something that had been written on a napkin at a bar. Like, Casey, one time I remember we funded a road in Brownsburg, and I conceptually drew the road on a napkin in the town manager's office. But you know what we did after that? Then we started putting actual pen to paper after we agreed, hey, in concept, this road on this napkin looks kind of cool and might work. Okay, how do we do this? Rod Bray stopped at writing on the napkin and then went out in front of the state and said, here's my abortion plan. And it was much of it was nonsensical gobbledygook, which is why the House, once they got the Senate's bill, took it, threw it in the trash, and wrote their own thing. It was horrific. So Messmer, I just can't with these guys.
He said he was removed for voting against SB 1.
Yeah, so Messmer was the current leader, floor leader, and he was the one who, in committee, voted against SB 1, the Republican who voted against. Remember, the two put it forward, said we're against it, but we're going to put it forward to keep going. Messmer said, this is so bad, I'm not going along with this. You put no effort into this. There's a whole bunch of holes in it, which there clearly was. He was 100% right, and said, I'm not going along with this. So because Messmer had the audacity to cross Colonel Parker Rod Bray, the greatest snowman in the Indiana General Assembly, for his ill-begotten, poorly written bill that was written on a napkin at a bar. It was like, I've had 7 Long Islands at Kilroy's. Let me come up with my abortion bill.
Yeah.
He was removed as the majority floor leader and replaced by Chris Garton. Mark Messmer out, Chris Garton in, because Mark Messmer had the audacity to stand up to party leadership. And that is the story out of this. The abortion bill is secondary. The story here is what, and you know, Casey, you know how much we hate being right on this show. And we tell you time and time and time again, and if you need any more proof, this is it, in which Republican politics are not about you. The Indiana Republican Party is not about you. It is not about a better life for you. It is not about independent thought. It is not about a robust debate. It is not about you standing up for your constituents. It is a team sport in which if you have the audacity to think for yourself and represent your constituents, you will be pulled out of party leadership. Here was, Abdul broke this story. Here's what Mark Messmer told Abdul, quote, I was removed for voting against SB 1. I opposed SB 1 because of the timing of bringing the bill in a rushed special session was wrong, and no one on the pro-life or pro-choice side of the issue liked the bill. All 100% accurate.
Not that he didn't disagree with the concept. He just did not like the way it was going down. And we talked about this yesterday, how people are silencing themselves. Right? And when they don't silence themselves, oftentimes there's retribution. And here's an example of that.
And I don't know how many times we need to just put the clear evidence in front of you. The Republican Party in this state is not your friend. They exist for themselves and for their donors and lobbyists. And old Colonel Parker Bray, the greatest snowman in the Indiana General Assembly, is such a small, pathetic person that because this guy, Mark Messmer, had the audacity to represent his constituents, and he's 100% right. It was a terrible bill. It was poorly written. It wasn't thought through. Rod Bray looked like he was at a loved one's funeral when he was talking about that bill. And because Mark Messmer had the audacity to publicly say what every other person saw who was watching this debate unfold. Remember when we had Micah on, we had Mike Fichter on from Right to Life. They all said, nobody likes this bill.
Right.
And so because you had the audacity to vote against a bill that nobody likes, well, you're out of leadership.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Let's keep it local. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Jim Lucas just can't help himself. He can't get off Facebook.
Our old pal, Jim Lucas.
He posted a screenshot of a webpage with the words Joseph Goebbels on the Big Lie and on the Jewish question.
Okay,
this
so
was his cover photo.
So Jim Lucas is a state rep from the Seymour area, and we've mentioned Jim many times on this show, and we've had some spirited conversations with Jim. And Jim is the worst of everything in elected and public office. Not because his politics are bad, but because he is the guy who sits around and goes, this is horrible what government is doing. Something, Casey, must be done. If only someone would do something. While apparently forgetting
he's the someone.
And this is what he's great at, because Jim Lucas, at the end of the day, and we'll get to this, it's going to be a big full circle. Hello to everybody in the YouTube chat, by the way. They see I was making a circle motion there with my hand. He is a guy who has recognized that if I just bravado and blow hard enough on social media, because the public is largely apathetic, they won't actually realize how inefficient and ineffective and mostly do nothing I am, and how despised I am by my colleagues and much of the public at large. And so if I just keep saying, this is outrageous, someone must do something. And we have been very critical of him, and I have, and these conversations have played out here. They've played out on social media. Get off the Facebook and get to work. If you spend as much time, me too, Jim Lucas, you being Jim Lucas, working to do something, whether it's deal with the lockdowns, the mandates, tax reform, all of these things that you claim to government interference, whatever, as you do screwing around on Facebook, you might, and what a novel concept, Casey,
get something done,
be able to accomplish something.
Yeah.
So Jim Lucas has a track record because all he does is screw around on social media all day instead of work for you. By the way, Jim Lucas made, I think, $70,000 last year to screw around on Facebook all day. Your money. So you can decide whether Jim Lucas getting $70,000 to screw around on Facebook all day is a good use of your money. Because he screws around on Facebook all day, he has been prone to make posts that are at best incredibly tone deaf and at worst quasi-racist and racially insensitive. Now, I do not believe Jim Lucas is a racist, Casey. I don't believe there is a bone in Jim Lucas's body that is racist. I do believe, however, that the vast majority of bones in Jim Lucas's body are made up of moron. He is not a racist. He is a moron. And he has done this multiple times where he has posted these things that you have to have an IQ of a potted plant as a normal person, especially as an elected official, not to recognize how is this going to be perceived by the public at large, and what will the blowback be, and how will that affect my efficiency as a lawmaker? To the point where the last time he did it, because Indy Star and some other news organizations came at him, he took his social media down. The party leadership reprimanded him. He was going to run the risk of losing stature in the legislature, and so he was apparently so ashamed of what he did
that he did it again.
That he took his social media down. And now he's back here again, this time posting Nazi quotes. Now, he posted some Dickens novel trying to explain the thing away. But if you have a track record as an elected official, now this is true if you're just Joe Schmo off the street, but especially as an elected official, of posting things that are perceived as racially insensitive. They don't garner you one vote. They don't help you pass one piece of legislation. They help you and your constituents, I hit my microphone there, in no shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? And just like the last time when Indy Star and Wish TV and all the other news agencies got up his ass for being racially insensitive or racially tone deaf, and he took his social media down. This time he didn't take his social media down. He just deleted the post. And so the question is, Casey, to Jim Lucas, if you're so proud of the post,
why'd you take it down?
Why'd you delete your account the last time? And if you're so proud of this post, which he's defending it to the death, why'd you delete it?
Yeah, a history of making controversial comments, failing to learn the lesson.
But the bigger issue here, Casey, is how these people who represent us. Now, Lucas is just stupid enough to say his stupid out loud. This is Jim's gift to all of us and yet fatal flaw for himself, is that he is stupid enough to say his stupid out loud. The moron that exists of the vast majority of the 150 people that make up the Indiana General Assembly is a level to which I cannot describe and I wish I could. And if you want to see it on full display, Jim Lucas is the gift that keeps on giving because he keeps espousing his stupid out loud.
Well, he's the gift that keeps on giving because he keeps getting elected.
And there's another issue, right?
There it is.
Like, if you are in Jim Lucas's district, okay, and it comes back to the kneel at the altar of Republican Party politics that we talk about all the time. This guy is a disgrace. He's a loser. He's a total zero. He keeps embarrassing you as constituents. Are you so wed to big government Republican Party politics that you will continue to vote for this guy who apparently is so ashamed of what he does that he deletes his account or he deletes the post? Is that what you want from your representation? Is the meaningless letter next to someone's name so important to you that you will keep electing a guy who screws around on Facebook all day, has minimal, if any, actual accomplishments, who every time he comes in here gets his ass handed to him by a radio broadcaster, who defends gigantic tax increases, gigantic government? Is that all you expect? Because you get the government you deserve, and if Jim Lucas is the best you can do, man, that sucks that you're screwing it up for the rest of us.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. The biggest stories of the day, plus Abdul, Coach Dockich, and Beer Sample Friday. 93 WIBC.
We're celebrating fun at the speed of summer at your Indiana State Fair. Your favorite summertime tradition is celebrating all things Indiana, including our automotive excellence in partnership with Tom Wood Automotive Group.
Today is Military and First Responders Day, presented by Peterman Brothers. Packed full of fun with the State Fair Championship Rodeo, Majestic Draft Horse Show, and a free concert with Carly Pierce. Tickets at IndianaStateFair.com.
Join us for 18 magical days and 4 fun-filled weekends of food, rides, animals, and more at your Indiana State Fair.
You asked, we toasted. That's right. Breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. Wake up with your favorite today, like the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Freshly toasted and topped with a tender, juicy steak patty, a fluffy folded egg, melty American cheese, and grilled onions. Or enjoy other classic combinations like the sausage, egg, and cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese. When you're all finished, you will be wishing it was morning. All over again. Breakfast hours only at participating McDonald's.
Old National Bank is asking everyone to get old. But first, people have questions.
Will it take me years to get old?
No, getting old can literally happen in minutes.
Is getting old like a complicated process?
Not at all. Just stop into one of our banking centers or visit our website. We even have an app for that.
Will I look any different after I get old?
You may look happier and more relaxed with a banking partner like us.
Definitely want to get old.
Introducing Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Franciscan Health, we're inspired by what moves you and how you move through life. So if you're suffering from joint pain and want to get back to an active lifestyle, Franciscan Health Mooresville and Carmel, home to the Center for Hip and Knee Surgery, is your best move. Our world-renowned orthopedic surgeons offer the latest advancements in total joint replacement, including outpatient surgery. If you're ready to get moving with less pain, request an appointment at centerforhipandkneesurgery.org.
Dak Prescott here. Why do I choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because better sleep elevates my game. Only my Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps me fall asleep faster, keeps me cool, and effortlessly adjusts for my best sleep. The result? 28 minutes more restful sleep a night. That's more focus, more edge, and more highlights. And that means more wins for all of us.
Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Now, my girl, you're so young and pretty.
Good morning. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. This is one of my favorite things. If you just type in Inflation Reduction Act into Google, you're going to get things like this. Inflation Reduction Act unlikely to have impact on inflation. Inflation Reduction Act won't reduce inflation. That's just one of its faults. Will the Inflation Reduction Act actually reduce inflation? When will inflation go down? The Inflation Reduction Act may have little impact. Inflation Reduction Act may have little impact on inflation. Just 5 headlines right there. So, the Inflation Reduction Act not really reducing inflation. However, Biden's top economic advisor, Brian Deese, says you're going to start seeing relief from inflation immediately. Let's take a listen.
On the point that you made about the timing of when people will start to see relief, some of the provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act are going to help really immediately. The provisions that give consumers tax rebates or tax credits for going out and buying more energy efficient heaters, more energy efficient appliances, those are enacted immediately. On the point that you made about the timing of when people will start to see
Kevin's
relief.
playing again.
So
there you go.
I thought, okay, he's telling us we're going to save money if we go buy more energy efficient appliances.
Right. So this is what they're telling you is if you engage in the behavior that we approve of, your life will see some benefit. Now, let's take away the fact that these air quote energy efficient appliances are usually marketed more expensive in many cases than regular appliances. So your tax credit, if you get it, will be an offset of what you would have total supposed savings to begin with. So there is no real savings. But if you behave, and government has a long track record of this, if you engage in the behavior that we approve of, we will reward you. If not, kiss our ass.
So I did a little shopping because I was curious. I was like, all right, well, let's look up some energy efficient appliances. And I found out that you can be assured that the appliance is energy efficient if it's been certified by Energy Star.
Oh.
It has the little star on there, right?
Is that a group? What are they? What is Energy Star? I see this all the time. Like when I'm at a Lowe's or a Walmart or whatever.
These are the people that certify whether an appliance is in fact energy efficient.
How do you get that job?
So I looked up a refrigerator. I thought, okay, let's start there. This is a GE 24 cubic foot bottom freezer refrigerator. It's very lovely. It has fingerprint resistant stainless steel.
How exciting.
It's a standard depth. And it is $2,089.
Wow.
How much will you save? Well, according to Energy Star, our group here,
yes,
they say with a new certified refrigerator, you'll save over $200.
Wow.
Over the product's lifetime, which could be up to 12 years.
Oh, so you're about to. Okay, so let's just say it's 10 years and you save $200.
Mm-hmm.
That's $20 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And what sort of cost are we looking at? Do you have any idea what the cost?
$2,089.
Okay, so if you spend $2,089, now look, I get that things have gone up in price, but the last time I purchased a refrigerator, which served me very well, I think I paid roughly $500 for said refrigerator. Now, again, I understand things have probably, thanks to Biden inflation, et cetera, things have gone up in price, but it could not have gone up 4 times over the course of the last 5 or 6-ish years. And so as such, you would tell me that I would need, let's just say it's doubled. Let's say it's $1,000 now, where it was $500 before. So if I spend $1,000, I might get $200 back over 10 years. Why would I do that?
Exactly.
Unless I really wanted that refrigerator.
Yeah.
Unless I was making Tony Katz money. You know, he probably has a super energy efficient refrigerator. But for us normal folk.
But Biden's top economic advisor says you're going to save all sorts of money immediately. All you have to do is go buy a big, expensive new appliance. And maybe over a decade, you'll save a couple $100. They're going to give you that tax credit, though, which isn't going to cover the cost of that new appliance. Let's keep that in mind. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Kevin, I forgot to ask you, do we have time to move on to talk about this poll from, that's coming out of Oklahoma? Donald Trump maintaining a commanding lead. This is a hypothetical Republican primary. 50% supported Trump in this matchup against who? Ron DeSantis, who is at 22%. And I know this will tickle you, Rob.
Yes.
Mike Pence placed third at 6% in this poll.
Well, I'm really excited because he's got to go in front of the January 6th committee maybe. And so based on Liz Cheney's results, that will really boost his standing amongst Republican voters. And now Mike Pence's team, FBI. So that will probably see him rise in the polls as well. Look, it is a calculated decision that's going to have to be made by Ron DeSantis, which is is there enough path to pull off enough Trump voters for me to find a way to be the Republican nominee for president? It's a 2-person race if the 2 people are in. But you got to decide, is that worth the risk for you?
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. We're going to talk about Eli Lilly and reading. That's coming up from 93 WIBC.
Somehow I know we gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we gotta get.
Hey, how would you live your life if you could wake up each morning knowing there was enough money coming in to not only cover your basic needs, but also your goals and dreams as well?
The mission at the Singer Financial Group is that they want to work with people who expect their relationship to be transformational rather than transactional. If that's what you're looking for, you should connect with the Singer Financial Group. 317-852-9153. That's 317-852-9153. Or go to singerfinancialgroup.com. Schedule a discovery meeting and see how the retirement income money map planning process could transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
As a parent, you want the best education for your child. Choose Marian University Preparatory School for this school year. Their faith-based online private school is currently enrolling students in grades 6 through 9. Your child will benefit from their personalized college prep curriculum and supportive community. Financial aid is available through the Indiana Choice Scholarship. To learn more about the unique educational experience of Marian University Preparatory School, visit k12.com/Marian. That's k12.com/MARIAN. The reality of owning property is that it can sometimes become a burden. Maybe you own a vacant, condemned, or foreclosed property. Maybe you need to move fast for work or a family emergency. Perhaps you inherited a home, got a divorce, or just can't maintain the home you currently have. Getting free of that burden with cash in hand is easier than you think. Enhanced Property Solutions makes it simple for you to sell your property fast for cash on the date you pick. Any condition. No realtors, no fees, no hassles. EnhancedPropertySolutions.com or call 317-676-2050.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. Have you ever considered a water furnace geothermal heat pump for your home? Well, you should, because Water Furnace is one of the most flexible units on the market today. Heating, cooling, and even supplemental domestic hot water all from the same unit. It is comfort that gives back because it's the greenest, most efficient, and most cost-effective HVAC system available. Want to learn more? Call Precision Comfort Systems at 317-867-2554, or you can find them at precisioncomfort.com.
At the Good Feet store, all it takes is a free fitting and test walk to see how our personally fit arch supports can help relieve foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Just listen to these real customers who found real relief at the Good Feet store. Customers like Rodney.
Some of my favorite things to do is just go on a long walk. But the more I walked, the more my feet hurt. And when I tried the arch supports on, I'm like, wow, I'm steadier. Made me forget about the pain.
And here's Anna, another Good Feet customer.
A ballet dancer's body goes through so much pain, and the pain was really bad in my knees, my ankles, even in my hips sometimes. And so my mom took me into Good Feet, and then that's when we got my arch supports. A week after I got them, all of a sudden the pain just went away.
Relief from foot, hip, knee, and back pain could be steps away. See for yourself with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store today. Your good life starts with Good Feet.
Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet stores in Indy.
Coming up in 2 minutes, facing a judge. That's what the accused shooter of a cop will be doing later today. Plus, what has the Indy Police Union voicing their disapproval of the judicial system in Marion County? And Chris Davis reports on how gas prices are impacting city budgets all over Indiana. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
We might see some of the affidavit. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
How much some is, I don't know, but the more the better.
Republican Senator Chuck Grassley has been critical of the FBI raid of former President Trump's Florida home and hopes a federal judge allows a lot of the affidavit justifying the search warrant be made public.
There's plenty of evidence of political bias.
The Justice Department has until Thursday to propose what should be blacked out. It fears the investigation will be damaged.
In court yesterday, we saw attorneys from multiple media outlets start to argue that the public interest demands to know what was going on and that this entire affidavit should be unsealed, which would likely also detail which witnesses are cooperating with the government, as well as the feds investigating why so many cases of classified or top secret documents were still being kept at Mar-a-Lago.
That's Fox's Mark Meredith outside that home. The jury could get the case as soon as today at the Michigan retrial of two men charged with being part of a plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The prosecution has wrapped up its case against
Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. Defense attorneys have argued the FBI made up the plot against the men and others who were angry over Whitmer's COVID lockdowns, that the FBI used financial resources and agency manpower in an entrapment defense that led to a hung jury for Fox and Croft, and not guilty verdicts for two others.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. There are more than 1,000 flights delayed already today, more than 100 canceled. Many other days lately, it's been a lot more, prompting Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg to write a letter to the major airlines.
The letter urges carriers to ensure they guarantee adequate amenities and services to help passengers with expenses and inconveniences due to delays and cancellations, like meal vouchers for delays of more than 3 hours and lodging for passengers forced to wait overnight because of disruptions within the carrier's control.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Facing the music, sunny and 73 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. The accused shooter of a Richmond police officer will go before a judge this afternoon in an initial hearing. Philip Lee of Richmond faces 2 counts of attempted murder. The officer that he's accused of shooting, Officer Sierra Burton, is still in bad shape at a hospital in Dayton. Officer shootings recently have Indy police officers upset with prosecutors and judges in Marion County.
Law enforcement and, quite frankly, the public in general has reached a point where they realize that we have been the victim of a failed social experiment on the people of our nation.
Rick Snyder is the president of the Indy Police Union. He told Guy Relford on Tony Katz Today that it's repeat violent offenders who are let out with low bond committing most crime. In particular, he points to Carl Bords III in the case of the killing of Officer Noah Chavez in Elwood. Since it's paid for with tax money, you ultimately have to pay for it. Fuel prices are a problem in cities all across Indiana. Chris Davis reports.
In Evansville, they lock in a price, $2.30 this year, says Mayor Lloyd Winnecke, presenting his budget to the city council this week.
We'll save the city up to $1 million compared to actual pump prices this year.
Next year, $3.46 a gallon, up 50%. South Bend is facing some of the same troubles. Another problem, health insurance. It's up 10%. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
It happened before, and now it's happened again. 2 parents in Fort Wayne are charged with neglect after one of their kids got a hold of a gun and shot themselves. Shawnee's Prince Little and Darius Anderson were arrested. 3 years ago, another one of their kids shot off their pinky in a similar situation. Indiana's Little League team from Hagerstown beat Iowa 8-7 in the Little League World Series Thursday.
Definitely got us noticed. We're by far the smallest town. We're a population of roughly 1,800. So it's definitely putting us on the map.
Hagerstown town manager Chris Lamar on Wish TV. The team will face either Tennessee or Utah on Monday. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Radiant raspberry, golden orange, ice blue. You'll find all the colors of summer in our selection of beautiful, natural sapphires. Every color imaginable. At Shane Company, we're gemstone experts and our passion shows. Tom Shane selects our sapphires and rubies individually, by hand, in Bangkok, the gemstone capital of the world. He brings back the most spectacular sapphires, bold and vibrant colors, as well as soft pastels like peach and lavender. We also have yellow citrine, green quartz, London blue topaz, a rainbow of colors, and one-of-a-kind stones sourced by Tom. At Shane Company, we're known for our beautiful gemstones. Come into the store and try on our jewelry, or use our fun virtual try-on tool on your phone. Whether it's sparkling earrings for the poolside, a gemstone pendant for a concert in the park, or a vibrant center stone for your engagement ring, our colorful gemstones will brighten your day.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
Listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, August 19th, and things that are trending this hour. Bill Gates. It is being reported that Joe Manchin was convinced by Bill Gates to vote for the Inflation Reduction Act. Also trending, Nebraska. A brain-eating amoeba is most likely the cause of a death of a Nebraska child. And finally, the Little League World Series. Congratulations to Hagerstown for advancing in that series. It is 6 minutes after 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. And after statewide standardized test scores showed that nearly 1 in 5 Hoosier third graders this past spring didn't master foundational reading skills, what are we going to do? We're going to pour more money into the problem, up to $111 million. This is a combination of a few things. It's the Indiana Department of Education and also the Lilly Endowment. It's intended to improve reading outcomes in Indiana schools. Eric Holcomb previously said he supported spending a portion of the unexpected $6.1 billion in surplus on additional K through 12 initiatives.
Okay, so I have so many questions on this, Casey.
Okay.
And I realize that when you can use children as human shields, anytime you question anything that involves public education, there'll be a bunch of red-shirted lunatics who will come yell at me, and that's just the way it happens.
Are you up for it?
Oh, it's Friday. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so my first question is, there's a huge amount of state money that is going to be a part of this $111 million investment in teaching kids how to read, right? So my question would be, and I'm just doing math off the top of my head, so my numbers may be slightly off here. Our biennial state budget is roughly $37.5 billion, okay? So of that $37.5 billion, roughly half goes to K through 12 education, because our lawmakers are great at saying, here, catch, with briefcases full of cash, because they're petrified of the public education system. And they're very afraid that the teachers are going to get angry and wear their red shirts and come down to the State House and tell them how upset they are. And so our lawmakers are very, very good at, with mass on accountability, handing money over to public education so that the teachers won't say mean things about them. So my question to you, Casey, because I, again, doing math off the top of my head, I believe, what is it, roughly 20-ish billion, 26 million. Okay, 26 million, there it is, from the state. If 19 billion didn't get the job done, what damn difference does the state think that an additional $26 million is going to make?
Hey, nobody wastes money more than the government. And this money isn't going directly to the schools either.
Oh, it's not going directly to the schools. So that would be my first question. And, heaven forbid that someone like Jim Lucas get his ass off Facebook and actually start answering questions like this. And if they're okay with, if 19 billion, is that unreasonable for me to ask, Casey, that if $19 billion still produces an epic failure, what good is $26 million going to make?
We need more. Well, they're going to establish a new literacy center.
Oh, cool. Great, a center. Those usually work out very well.
We're going to spend $26 million to provide instructional support for educators.
Oh, so the $19 billion is not enough instructional support. We need an additional 26 million because, again, 19 billion wasn't enough. Okay, so I have a follow-up question, Casey.
Okay.
Because, and again, my reading skills are, because I was a product of the public education system, and we didn't have 19 billion at that time helping us read. So my reading comprehension skills are probably not where they should be. But I'm doing reading here from our friends at Indiana Capital Chronicle, and you can read along with me and let me know if I misread any of this. Lilly Endowment approved an initial grant of up to $60 million for the effort. Additionally, up to $25 million is available to help Indiana colleges and universities incorporate or enhance science of reading methods into their undergraduate elementary teacher preparation programs.
Yes.
Did I read that properly?
Yes, that's what I have as well.
So I'm doing a little public school math here, and 60 plus 25 is 85.
85 million.
From Lilly Endowment, which is great. And again, if I'll ask the question out loud, if 19 billion didn't solve the problem, what good is 85 million going to do.
Yeah.
But that's Lily's money. They can do with it as they please, and I'm sure much of it has been built on the backs of mass overpricing of drugs for poor and middle-class people, but that's okay. It's their money. It's a capitalist society. They can do with it as they please. But I thought Lily was leaving. I thought Lily was done with us. I thought we heard...
They're honoring their commitments.
Well, this seems like a little more than honoring a commitment. Honoring a commitment would be, I have an engagement at Deer Creek to play on Thursday night. I must be there. This seems like an additional $85 million, which is above honoring your commitment, which leads me to believe that Lily was always full of crap and is not going to do absolutely anything about abortion and abortion law in the state of Indiana.
They just wanted their voice to be heard that they didn't agree.
Oh,
right? That
I
was
see.
a little saber rattling.
Sure.
Yeah, they said they're going to honor their $2.1 billion Boone County commitment.
So were any of those questions that I asked unreasonable? I mean, I'm sure they will be ignored in the order it was received. I'm sure if I were to submit these to the governor, I would once again be told it would not serve Hoosiers well.
Serve Hoosiers well.
To get an answer to that. But those are the questions that I have based on the story.
Yeah, we're just spending more and more on education, and the end results have never been worse.
Yes.
Actually. They're not getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Elon Musk told GOP congressional leaders and big dollar donors that Republicans need to present a more compassionate front to voters and appeal to immigrants like himself.
Oh, sure.
I know you're sick of this guy, aren't you?
Well, here's my deal with Elon Musk. Elon Musk, throughout the vast majority of his public life, has been an open supporter of Democrats and Democrat causes. And call me skeptical, but it appears he has only in recent times found his way, moseyed his rich backside over to the Republicans. And I'm sure that is just a coincidence that happened when the Democrats started coming for him and his businesses and his attempt to acquire businesses.
Do you think that it has anything to do with his $11 billion tax bill when he sold his Tesla stock?
Well, it could be. I think primarily when you are that rich, your primary concern is the fact that Twitter wants to, because of his attempted purchase of Twitter, the left wants to cancel him and take him out. So, again, I get that I'm a skeptic and I'm super negative, but why would I, as a lifelong conservative and Republican, and a Republican still in good standing, and I know that just enrages many in the Republican Party because, well, I am a registered, reliable Republican voter. I'm what they call a hard R, Casey, much to the dismay of many. Why would I be taking advice from a guy who, up until about 6 months ago, was firmly entrenched in the Democrat camp? Why would I be taking advice from him?
Yeah, you're not going to, I don't believe.
Yes.
He suggested that the country would prosper, and he knows he's going to tell us what to do. He says that the country would prosper if Republicans stayed out of people's bedrooms and Democrats stayed out of people's wallets.
Oh.
That could be said for both parties.
But here's the question. What are the Republicans doing in people's bedroom? I hear this all the time. Anybody can marry anyone they want in this society. Anyone can sleep with whoever they want. Anyone can do whatever they want as long as it is legal, above the law. You may have relations with whoever you like, clearly as the monkeypox is showing us, with however many people you like. And as long as you do it behind closed doors, no one cares. What bedroom are the Republicans in? And if your answer to that is Republicans don't want you to suck brains out of defenseless fetuses, that is not in your bedroom.
Yeah.
That is saving lives.
Yeah. So now Musk is sidling up to a lot of Republicans. He's showing up at donor parties. He's been hanging out with Kevin McCarthy. And before a recent dinner with Kevin McCarthy, he tweeted out, "To be clear, I support the left half of the Republican Party and the right half of the Democratic Party."
To be clear, I don't care who you support. I don't care about your stupid Twitter takeover. And by the way, I'll believe Musk is serious when the massive billions of dollars of federal subsidies and tax credits and everything else that the left is giving him for his business when he starts declining those, because he made out like a bandit in the Biden green dream. So this guy, for supposedly having all these problems with these people, still is no problem with his mouth firmly attached to the government trough that never ends. He certainly is more than willing to accept massive, big government subsidies to fund his rather lavish lifestyle.
You mentioned tweeting. Let's talk about your digital footprint for a moment.
Oh.
The modern person leaves behind an online trail of over 9,000 photos, 10,000 social media posts, and this is shocking, 126 email addresses over their lifetime.
Wow!
That's a lot of email addresses.
That is a lot of
How many different emails do you have? Be honest with me.
I think I've got 2.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
A work one, a personal one, and a secure one.
I don't do anything that is. I need this to be super secure. I have one for here, and then a couple related with various businesses. And that's
126 emails? That seems like a lot to me. However, only 2 of them are, for the average person, are active.
I don't do a whole lot in the emails and have not for a long time because you know why, Casey? Not that I'm doing anything that it's like, oh, if that got on public, that'd be weird. But once it's in the email, it's in the email forever. So other than to email Kevin and you to have a great day, or the picture that I just sent you.
I know, I can't wait to see it.
When we come back, I know we got into this earlier, but I sent you a photo while I was talking during one of these topics that we were on. That are the rantings of an absolute madman. No, wait, I don't want you to see it yet. Okay. During the break, I want you to see this, and then we are going to respond to what you, and I want Kevin to pull it up too, because I sent you the photo of a rantings of an absolute madman. Okay. And I want to get into that when we come back.
You sent it to my secure email, right?
Yes,
my secure active email. Okay. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
This is what's happening.
Man accused of killing Elwood police officer Noah Shanavez.
Standing here with the family. My name is Matt Shanavez, the state of Indiana. Noah's my firstborn son, will be seeking the death penalty. My family misses Noah more than words can express.
The latest updates.
For the FBI to do what they did when clearly 50% of America strongly supports Donald Trump.
Stay current.
Taiwan has demonstrated incredible restraint.
The story continues on 93 WIBC.
My name is Kayla Sinders, and I work for Gleaners Food Bank. I am a local service manager for 3 counties in our 21-county service area, and I nominated Katie.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My name is Katie Wilkerson. I pick up at the mobile food pantries. The best part of volunteering to hand someone some food and see the smile on their face, the relief. Without my vehicle, there's no way I'd be able to do this. To go to any of the pantries, it's at least 18 miles.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more, as well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at jiffylubeindiana.com.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
A $2,000 energy-saving credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient view windows, siding, and doors. Up to $2,000 energy credit and no payments, no interest for up to 22 months.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
Oh, he's mean.
And Casey Daniels.
She's kind, she's humble.
93 WIBC.
A group of about 60 contractors who work with Facebook learned that they were laid off this week after they were chosen at random by an algorithm. What a way to go. And we might have time to get into that story later. But there's other action happening on Facebook right now. And Rob, this is a lot.
No, okay, so when we went to the break, I said, I'm going to send you something.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to, I just want to have your response while we're off here. And I sent it to Kevin as well. Because does this or does this not come from the rantings of a madman department?
Somebody who definitely has a lot to say.
I thought you were going to say someone with a lot of issues for which he desperately needs to seek help. Now, I have now posted this up to Rob M. Kendall on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on Twitter nearly as much these days. Certainly not on social media as much as this guy these days. But if you would like to see this, I have now posted this to @Rob M. Kendall on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier in the show, we pointed out that local goof Jim Lucas, the disdain of Seymour, the greater Seymour area, has once again put his foot in his mouth with commentary on social media, because that's where he spends the vast majority of his life, that was once again deemed by many people to be racially insensitive at best. And this is a guy who once deleted his account by his own choice because he posted things that were racially insensitive. And apparently he's back with a vengeance because he put a Nazi quote up on his face. Not only, I was told, not only did he post a quote, he made it his
cover photo.
His cover photo.
Yeah.
And then, once again, was apparently so embarrassed by it when Indy Star and the TV called him out that he deleted the post.
Yeah.
And so we commented on this. Jim, spending the vast majority of his life on social media instead of representing his constituents, couldn't have apparently sprinted to the nearest computer fast enough and decided to get into it with me on social media. And Casey, his response, this is like a Dickens novel.
It's so much. It's so long.
It was so long. I had to minimize my computer screen to 50% just to screenshot it. Like, if you live in Jim Lucas's district, @Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, it's up there so everyone can see it. Is this what you want your state rep who makes almost $70,000 a year of your money to do all day? This is what this guy does. He screws around on social media to the... I have no power over anyone. It's not like he's debating Rod Bray or, having a passionate conversation with a Democrat lawmaker about tax reform. This is like shorter than the Federalist Papers that the guys wrote back and forth to found the country.
So there's a Jewish museum I believe it's in Terre Haute called Candles, the Candles Holocaust Museum and Education Center. Yeah, it's in Terre Haute. And they had urged the House Speaker Todd Huston to condemn his actions, right? And now Jim Lucas has been doing a little state tour of Jewish museums, across the state to try and make good on his words.
Here's an idea, Casey.
Don't do it to begin with?
Yeah. Get off the social media. You are clearly, and again, I said this earlier, Jim Lucas is not a racist. He's a moron. You are clearly incapable of handling yourself on social media. Because as an elected official, wouldn't there be part of you that says, what benefit comes to my constituents out of this post? Like, again, I've told you, there's a huge reason I don't ever see myself going back to politics. And it ain't because I can't win. It's because I don't want to cut the bull crap because I like the bull crap. But even I would know, don't post this.
Yeah.
Like, what good does posting Nazi quotes? Okay, Casey, let's can we just have a quick little role play here? I know how you love the role play.
Lucky for you, he tagged you in this, by the way.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Casey.
Yeah.
I will be the interviewer. You be Jim Lucas and I'll be Rob Kendall. Okay?
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I don't want to be Jim Lucas. Go ahead.
Jim, if you could put the social media down for 7 seconds and answer a question, I have but one very simple question for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What good, as an elected official who represents tens of thousands of people, what good for those people does posting Nazi quotes on your social media do for them?
Oh, absolutely nothing.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. I didn't play my role right.
Kevin. You are Mr. Moderate. You are Mr. Thoughtful. You are Mr. Advice Man. I need to bring you in very quickly. Is this or is you saw this, right? You saw the quote in the post in question, right?
Yeah, I glanced at it.
Is this not the rantings of an absolute madman? Should there not be? I mean, law enforcement is apparently very busy investigating people these days. Did you not read this and go, this is a man in need of serious help?
He couldn't read it. It's so small.
Yeah,
There's
it's
just
pretty
too
tiny
much.
print. And it's, I mean, it was almost like a book.
And
we don't have time to get through this.
And this is one of the 150 most powerful people in the state of Indiana. Everybody go read this, and you tell me if you feel better about your government today knowing this lunatic is in charge of anything.
He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. We're glad you're here. It's 93 WIBC.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. Made in America. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
Mortgage rates are down and home equity is up. If you've been thinking about a refinance, start online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
Join the Sertoma Club of Greenwood for WhamFest, a festival of wine, art, music, and microbrew. This Saturday, August 20th, noon to 9 p.m. at Craig Park in Greenwood. Presented by the Ray Skillman Automotive Group. Tickets at whamfest.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
You'll have to wait a bit longer. Well, maybe. It's 75 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Documents detailing the raid of former President Trump's home in Florida has partial release for now, but the main questions surround a specific affidavit regarding the warrant for the raid.
Judge Bruce Reinhart giving the DOJ 1 week to offer a redacted version of the affidavit. Now, it's a setback for the Justice Department, who has opposed the document's release, claiming it would compromise their criminal investigation into Trump. Meanwhile, Trump continues to call for transparency. Now, his spokesman saying, quote, no redaction should be necessary, and the whole affidavit should be released.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. The discovery of polio in New York has millennials asking their parents if they were ever vaccinated. While that may sound silly, infectious disease experts say it's important.
The community has to make sure that everybody's getting vaccinated because there are some people that just can't or will not respond to vaccine. So we have a vested interest in herd immunity.
Dr. Jason Bowling with the University of Texas Health System says that it's likely that most are vaccinated. The polio vaccine is one of the first given to infants, and data from the CDC shows more than 92% of children have received all 3 doses. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
So Tulsi Gabbard talked about permanent Washington, that's air quotes, permanent Washington, and how the people running D.C. have made it clear their objective is to prevent Donald Trump from running in 2024. She's been filling in on Fox a lot lately, too. She stepped in to host Tucker Carlson's show on Friday, continuing her rightward pivot. She came armed with a monologue, and she was torching Joe Biden as well.
You mean Tulsi Gabbard goes on television and puts together her thoughts in a professional, thought-worthy fashion that if you saw this person, you would say, wow, that is a very well put together person who is clearly thinking the issues through. You mean she is not spending her entire life on social media posting
ramblings,
posting incoherent psychobabble ramblings? You mean this might be a more effective way of communicating with the public at large if you have a message you would like to deliver?
I think the well thought out part is the key there. Yeah.
Yes. So Tulsi Gabbard obviously was a former representative from Hawaii. She ran for president. She's I guess, still a Democrat, but is on Fox News, as she did quite a bit.
Is she, though?
Look, she's a what I refer to people like Tulsi Gabbard as lane recognizers, in the sense of there are people who are lane unrecognizers, like Liz Cheney would be an example of a lane unrecognizer.
Okay.
There is no lane for which you to run through here, and thus she went down and yelled timber. Tulsi Gabbard, on the other hand, recognizes, look, there are a lot of independent free thinkers in our society who socially may be liberal, fiscally, and in terms of the size and scope of government are conservative. We call them libertarians around here. People who believe you do you, and as long as you don't harm other people, we're all going to be fine. And so she recognizes, whether it's as a future in broadcasting, because she is pretty well assembled and is pleasant for camera viewing in many people's beliefs, or as a future political run. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard would literally be the perfect, one of the people who would be basically perfect to be the libertarian nominee for president. Like if you were to say, run this person out there and you could do some, serious collateral damage, Tulsi Gabbard would probably be that. And so as such, she is out in front of the public quite a bit, and she is great at pointing out because she was in the system, right?
Yeah.
She was in and around that system. She's basically a better looking version of me. I mean, when you get right down to it,
I like her. She comes across as very intelligent.
Yes, she's great.
And like you said, you say well assembled. I say yes, she's pleasing to look at, but she's put together.
Right. And the reason Tulsi Gabbard is a danger and the reason she is so now despised by the Democrats, the same reason the Republicans hate me so much. We were the ones they screwed up and let in the treehouse, but we had no interest in being in the boys' club. And as such, we were able to escape with our lives from the treehouse. And now we can talk about the things that we saw. And in her case, hers is Washington, D.C., and she is phenomenal in this clip right here at pointing out the Washington elite, the establishment, and their willingness to weaponize the government against regular people.
It's hard not to be skeptical when you look at their tactics and their timing to really question what their motives are, to leverage their power and their influence to have an impact on these midterm elections that voters will be going to vote at in just a few weeks, and to do what they have already stated publicly is their objective, which is to prevent Donald Trump from running for president in 2024. This is not something new. We only have to go back in the recent past to remember that these are the very same people who deceived the American people for years, trying to get us to believe that Donald Trump was an agent of Russia and that he stole the 2016 election. These are the same people going after parents and patriots, targeting them as extremists, as people who are quote unquote enemies of the state, dissenters, opponents. These are the very same people who want to censor us and control what information we can see and hear and say through their so-called Ministry of Truth, which, by the way, hasn't gone away. It's still there. It's just there by a different name. So the American people, I think, are seeing that, hey, this is not a one-off situation. It's just a serious escalation of this dangerous trend we've seen of the politicization of public institutions that exist to serve the public good, but are instead being leveraged for power and political gain by those in power.
Mm-hmm. I saw something interesting.
Oh?
It's how government works. 1, breaks your legs. 2, sells you a wheelchair. 3, taxes the wheelchair. 4, regulates use of that wheelchair. And then 5, assures you that without the government, you wouldn't be getting around so well.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
You should post that.
It's kind of like what she said there.
Yeah, no, it's spot on, and you wouldn't need to make your computer screen 50% in size in order to get it all as a screenshot. So you should totally put that up there.
I could fit that on a napkin, couldn't I?
You absolutely could. Can we play this other clip real quick?
Bill Maher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, we always preface with Maher that you have to take everything he says with a grain of salt. He's not your friend. He's not on your side. He is a liberal. He just recognizes the lunacy of the woke far left, and eventually they'll come for him as a 60-something white guy comedian. So it's self-preservation, but Bill Maher helped create the hate and vile that comes from the left for years and years and years, whether it was Bush or and then obviously Trump after that. So don't shed any tears for Bill Maher, but occasionally, for self-preservation purposes, he makes some sense. Mm-hmm. And in this case, he was talking about this FBI raid and how in a very weird world, and by weird, I mean people with any common sense would see it, but if you think it through, the FBI raid is actually benefiting and helping Donald Trump.
Trump, he did sell his soul to the devil because he is the luckiest man in the world. His fortune was finally falling. The big lie was finally losing momentum. DeSantis was beating him in the polls. You know who hates this more than anybody? DeSantis. DeSantis, like, I had this in the bag, and now I got to run against President Martyr. And this is saving Trump politically, because now, of course, all the Republicans, what do?
It may be.
He's got a point. DeSantis was on the rise, and then the FBI raids Mar-a-Lago, and then all of a sudden, everybody is on Trump's side again.
It'll be fascinating to see what is in this affidavit and what gets out related to that search, because if indeed the judge allows the majority of it to come into the public spectrum, then we're going to have a very clear delineation of, was this, oh my gosh, there's this very vital issue of national security that the only way to get it was to storm the Bastille, or was this very clearly Garland Biden Incorporated, once again, as the left often does, overplaying their hand?
Yeah. Ron DeSantis, by the way, recently, just yesterday, said 20 people have been disqualified from voting because of felony convictions. They're now facing voter fraud charges. And a few of those people live in the Villages in Florida.
Oh.
So I'm just imagining.
Were they your neighbors?
Not my neighbors, but I'm just imagining somebody driving around in their golf cart and being told you're not allowed to vote anymore.
Hey, Grandma.
Yeah.
It's all over for you.
Yeah. Let's move on to Eric Holcomb. He did something that you're not completely turned off by.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, this was probably an accidental, confused, totally random act of quality governance from Holcomb, and we say this all the time, Casey. I loathe this guy because he's consistently awful. I don't wake up every day and go, I want to loathe my government. And we've said many times, if they being Republicans, do things that warrant praise, then we would love to talk about that. I would have loved nothing more than the Republicans come out and say, we are suspending the gas tax. Mm-hmm. We are sitting at $1,500 of your money. We are refunding $1,000 of it. There's nothing more that I would love than every day to come to 40 Monument Circle for as long as we're still here and throw a parade for these people for doing actual conservative governance. We do it for Ron DeSantis all the time.
Right.
And yet they make it not just difficult, in most cases, they make it impossible. But Holcomb did yesterday come out, and I'm not going to say it was a strong defense, but it was a defense of the abortion restrictions that were put in place a couple weeks ago. And for that, look, I'm sure he got a strong verbal undressing from his corporate adult supervision over at the Indiana Chamber. But to give him credit, he did come out and defend signing the abortion restrictions into law, and for that he deserves some credit.
He said, I have yet to hear, and maybe we never will, some companies might just fly over the state of Indiana because of the issue. Of course, he's talking about abortion. He said, I don't mean to act like it'll never happen. It might, but there are a lot of issues that factor into where someone invests.
Yes, and that is very true, and it was very accurate. And so let it be known henceforth, on August, what is today? August the 18th? Is that right? 19th.
Today's the 19th.
August the 19th at 10:41 a.m. Rob Kendall said something nice.
Hey, do we have time to get into this Epstein house?
You have time to get into whatever you want. It's half your show.
Yeah, I want to talk about this because it's gross.
Okay.
Not because it's gross. I just feel like I know what I would do. So work has finally started to gut and renovate the Manhattan mansion where Jeffrey Epstein abused all those girls.
Yes. So some dude paid $51 million for this?
He's a former Goldman Sachs banker.
Uh-huh.
It's a 7-story home. It's in New York, Manhattan, right downtown, $51 million. Yeah. And they're going to restore it to its grandeur from before Epstein had it.
Okay, so here's my question to you, because obviously I understand that in Manhattan, property is uber valuable. I'm not disputing that the actual value of this property was probably similar to what this person paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
But could you live in a house where you knew, let's say, a double homicide took place? Could you live in that house?
No.
I don't think I could.
I wouldn't want to
either.
Yeah.
Now I understand people pass away in homes, but
that's different.
I think I do think it's different.
Crime.
Right. Much less could you live. Let's say somebody had said for free. Now they're not going to give you the property for free, but let's say, Casey, you could live in this house at no charge. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could live in Jeffrey Epstein's house knowing what a horrific, awful person he was and the things that were, if not done there, at least facilitated through there.
Yeah, I don't know if I could either. I have in my notes that I would be buying gallons of white Kills to paint over every inch. I would be ripping up the carpet. I would be changing out the light fixtures down to the light switch plate. Everything would be redone because there were secret cameras installed in this place. Yeah. There was a life-size doll which hung from a chandelier.
Uh-huh.
Photographs. Apparently, there was a photograph of Mohammed bin Salman, like above the fireplace. You know, there's a picture of Bill Clinton in a dress hanging in this house.
It's very, it's like something out of a Stephen King novel. Like, it would be a phenomenal place to set a Stephen King novel. By the way, so Michael Daffy is the guy's name, and he got. And I would love to know.
You got a deal.
Well, yeah, it had been slashed. Obviously, I think the initial asking price was $88 million, and then ultimately it was slashed over time down to whatever it was, 50, whatever that he bought it for. But he had to get, or he didn't have to. He chose to get a $30.6 million loan from Citigroup, Bloomberg said, in order to buy this house. Can you imagine, like, you and I have both bought properties recently, and we know the process of walking into your chosen local lender and making the case of, I need X amount of dollars to purchase this property. Can you imagine Mr. Daffy is here to see you. Oh, come right in, Mr. Daffy. What can we help you with? Oh, I'm going to need $30.6 million. Well, that seems like an exorbitant amount of money. Whatever will this be for? I plan to purchase the Epstein property.
Yeah.
And he got it.
And they should have said, well, you're going to need a little bit more because you're going to have to take that place down to the studs to exorcise the demons. And while we're on it, I just have to throw it out there. Where's the client list?
Yeah, great point.
Where's the client list? It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. The biggest stories of the day, plus Abdul, Coach Dockich, and Beer Sample Friday. 93 WIBC.
Hey, it's going to be another beautiful weekend in central Indiana. And if you're sitting out on the patio, maybe having an adult libation, look down. Look at that gross concrete. You know, it could be so much better, so much more attractive with the help from Galaxy Concrete Coating. And it's UV resistant, so it won't yellow. All year long, you can hang out there. 317-751-9070. Call Galaxy Concrete Coating. They'll make your patio look so much better. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Tired of daily insulin injections? Participants are needed for the Revitalize 1 clinical research study, evaluating a new procedure to reduce or eliminate the need for insulin in type 2 diabetes patients. To see if you or a loved one are eligible, call 1-844-420-0384 or visit revitalizestudy.com/radio. To qualify, you must be 21 to 70 years of age, have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and are currently taking insulin. Study-related treatment and study-related care will be provided at no cost. Imagine a day without insulin. Consider the Revitalize 1 clinical research study today. Call 1-844-420-0384 or visit revitalizestudy.com/radio. That's 1-844-420-0384 or revitalizestudy.com/radio.
Here's Terry Stacy to tell you what's going on with WIBC.
The Home and Garden Show hits the road again next week. The gang is heading back to Sullivan Hardware and Garden on 71st and Keystone. Live every Saturday starting at 9. Be sure to tune in to Pat, Denny, and the gang on 93 WIBC. Follow WIBC on your favorite social media channels to stay up to date on breaking news, traffic updates, and weather. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
Right now, it's a seller's market. It's Terry Stacy for Crest Point Real Estate. Get your free home value estimate in 60 seconds at callcrestpoint.com.
Good morning. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. It's your theme song, dude.
Man, we've been riding the lightning for a while now. Every Friday since the beginning of the year, I've waddled my fat ass into this studio, and we've stepped on the scale to see where we're at.
Mm-hmm. How you feeling about today?
Man, I feel good because, again, for those who don't know what we're doing, every Friday, I come in here and weigh in. If I lose weight or even if I tie, awesome. I get a golf clap, survive in advance. Mm-hmm. But if I gain weight, I have to put $5 in a virtual pot for Rob Kendall to do God knows what at the Brownsburg Applebee's.
And look, you've lost some weight, and that's fine. But don't you feel a little shameful that you've had to use these 3 timeouts in order to get there, that you went like 3 weeks where you didn't weigh in? We know you were doing God knows what down in Florida. I mean, you should run for public office because you've really manipulated the system and cost me a whole bunch of money.
Well, it would take a crook to know a crook, Rob, and the only office I've ever held is class president for 2 years. You were an elected official. You used to pick up chicks and threaten to turn off their water. With your puka shell necklace on, by the way.
Mom and Dad like those toilets flushing?
Maybe you come back to my place.
Hey, speaking of the puka shell necklace, before you get weighed in, I have to ask this question. Yesterday, you posted a picture of Rob on your Twitter account, and it was for You Went Off the Rails.
Yes.
And I'm curious, when was that picture taken?
I'm going to guess that was 05, 06-ish, based on the hair. I mean,
your hair was curly.
Well, I have a phenomenal set of hair now, thanks to We Grow Hair Indie.
The best in the business.
They were great. They put me back together. But when I was in my early 20s, my hair was, I mean, it was a thing of beauty. I mean, it should have been a museum or something. I mean, it was great.
And the eyebrows too.
Oh, yeah.
Like the brows, they look luscious and thick.
Yeah.
Like they weren't quite Phil Sanchez level, who's got the best eyebrows in broadcasting. It's unbelievable.
I was a skinny, good-looking dude in my early 20s.
What happened?
Well, I just, it was the radio career, and then the politics, and the back to radio. I mean, I have chosen everything in my life that is a soul-sucking experience. Politics,
so do
radio.
politics really do that? Because we always see the before and after pictures of like presidents.
Yeah,
like day one of, when they take the oath of office and when they leave. And it looks like, even if it's been 4 years, they've aged like 10.
Well, it depends. Are you a person who actually cared like me, who lived it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Or are you someone who spends the majority of your time screwing around on Facebook like a Jim Lucas posting Nazi quotes? I mean, you will age more and it will take more out of you if you actually try and care about the job in question.
Look at Rob. His hair used to be curly. Now it's straight.
Yeah.
That's what being in office did to him.
Yeah, I had to get out because I was going to die of a heart attack or a stroke by the time I was 35. And luckily I'm here with all of you. So are you ready to find out how I think you're down again?
I feel good.
I
had a big blowout this morning.
What?
And what? Honesty is a big part of this job, Casey.
Right. We share our lives with the listeners, Casey.
TMI.
Have you ever done the thing where you've weighed yourself before and after an effective movement of the food through your body?
Oh, on Thanksgiving, yes, we bet on it. There's over-unders on Thanksgiving.
Okay, so you've got, once you hit 50 pounds down, you're done.
Right, contest is over.
And I have started, especially the last several weeks, to see a dramatic difference. Like you look, I'm not going to say you're fit, but I'm going to say you're not morbidly obese anymore.
So we started at 264.4, and I just didn't want to be the fat guy on TV anymore. And the shirt that I wore last night on News Nation and Outkick, I couldn't fit that shirt last year.
And I'm starting to get real concerned because you are down to 220.8 coming into today. And I weigh 160, and I'm worried eventually you're going to catch me because I'm always the skinny guy at this of the on-air staff. You and Nigel and Kat.
You used to be the youngest too.
I still am the youngest. Look, I'm not even. What are you? Are you 40?
I'm 44.
Okay, so yes, I've got 6 years on my next closest participant, but he's gonna like get in the medium shirt range here before too long.
And before I step on the scale, go back to the age thing. I've worked in radio for a long time, and like the stigma of WIBC for a long time was it's the old people station. Look at the ages of the hosts we have on this station. We are 29. One of the youngest air staffs in the city of Indianapolis.
All right, so we got to beat 220.8. Let's see. I think you're down. Let's find out.
Hey, while you're weighing, my question for you, was the blowout on the home turf or was that here at work?
Oh, that was at home.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, home bowl advantage.
I would love to see Hammer's sewer bill one month. All right, Hammer heading up over to the scale. He's moseying over, no longer waddling.
We're rolling.
Oh, wow.
We are rolling, baby.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, yes, sir.
Wow.
217.8.
Wow. So you are am I trying to do my public school math here? You are you're 3.4 pounds away from your goal.
I'm in the red zone.
Yeah, you're there.
I am in the red zone. It's first and goal. Next week could be it. If I have a good week, man, it could be on.
And I don't even have enough for a 2 for 24 at Applebee's.
Yeah.
No, but you could spend all of that money just on a couple margaritas, and Cheryl will take care of you. She makes it extra strong just for you.
Well, and you did this for television, right? You decided to do this to look good on TV.
Right. I mean, there's a little bit for myself, too. My blood pressure was getting high. I just looked like a big fat bastard.
Because I asked you, do you feel different now? Like, do you sleep better? Do you whatever?
No, I don't sleep any better, but I feel better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a dude that's usually up pretty late because I'm always looking for stories or I've got something going on. I just can't hit the switch and go to sleep. But I feel better. Yeah. I feel like I can get through the day without being tired and groggy and mean and all that kind of stuff.
Have you had to switch out any of your clothes? Are your fat clothes too big on you now?
No, I still wear them because I'm a kid from the 90s. So, the big shorts, the big shirts, that's kind of where I live.
Hey, you had Drew Storen on yesterday.
Yes.
He's got a new booze line now, former professional baseball player Drew Storen.
It's really good. We had some in studio.
Thanks for saving some for us. That was very nice of you.
Yeah.
We left you the cups. Triple
Empty.
play Field of Dreams. It's like a whiskey and an Arnold Palmer together. And it's like a canned cocktail, but it's got a little bit more kick to it than those like Trulies and things like that.
I was a little disappointed because Drew's really first step onto the public scene was doing Brownsburg High School sports on the internet with me when he was still in high school.
Oh, really?
And I didn't even get a mention on there, and look at what he became by associating with me.
You taught him how to throw a 90-plus mile an hour fastball that breaks, I'm sure.
I gave him a lot of life advice. A guy in his mid-20s going, hey, am I right?
Hey, speaking of doing the high school football, you're going to have some fun tonight.
Yeah, I'm the hype guy on the PA at Beech Grove tonight.
Hello, local youth.
Spirit Week.
Not the official PA guy, but I'm the hype guy because Chris, El Presidente, put together this big, elaborate opening for the game.
Nothing like bringing my dad to help me out. It's coming up this afternoon.
Yeah, my family gets along. Beer Sample Friday, the biggest stories of the day.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Thanks, Hammer.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
500 Guns is just east of the Speedway and the Viaduct on 16th Street. Joe and Guy Montgomery are the experts to trust when you want to buy or sell guns. They buy single guns or entire collections. If you've decided this is the year to become a gun owner or to add to your collection, don't buy until you visit 500 Guns. Contrary to what many think, you actually can get better pricing at 500 Guns than at the big box stores, and a lot better service. See them today. 500 Guns, West 16th Street, Indianapolis.
Don't miss the Colts kickoff concert at Lucas Oil Stadium on September 9th from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a one-of-a-kind celebration of football and music with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Experience the world's greatest guitar collection, presidential artifacts, sports memorabilia from Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and much more. And for the first time ever, Colts fans will get to see up close historic Colts memorabilia from Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and more. The evening will be topped off with a free concert by the all-star Jim Irsay Band, featuring special guests Ann Wilson of Heart and the legendary Buddy Guy.
I'm right, I got the blues.
That's one night only with the Jim Irsay Collection and the Jim Irsay Band. Friday, September 9th, 7 to 10 p.m. at Lucas Oil Stadium. Get your free ticket at JimIrsayCollection.com.
Hello, Hoosiers. This is Congressman Greg Pence. It's an honor to serve the 6th District of Indiana. As a former Marine, I'm proud to serve you. As you all know, inflation is out of control. The Biden administration's policies are crushing our economy and crushing our wallet. I'm fighting every day against the Biden policies driving up the cost of groceries and utilities. In Congress, we need the federal government working for Americans, not against Americans. We need to curb runaway government spending to fight back against inflation. We need to support domestic energy production to lower gas prices. As your congressman, I will continue to fight on your behalf. Please visit pence.house.gov to learn more.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
A $2,000 energy-saving credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient view windows, siding, and doors. Up to $2,000 energy credit and no payments, no interest for up to 22 months.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what's coming from the police union as cops continue to grow frustrated with Marion County's judicial system. Plus, Parker Carlson reports on the sentencing of a woman accused of rape. That and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
It's sentencing day for a terrorist. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. In federal court in Virginia, 8 years to the day after journalist James Foley was murdered in Syria.
The last of the so-called sadistic captors known as the ISIS Beatles is about to hear his sentence, seated not far from the families of his victims.
Now, they got the Beatles nicknames for their British accents.
El Shafi El-Sheikh is the highest profile ISIS fighter to stand trial in the U.S. He was extradited from Britain and will likely receive a life sentence after being found guilty in April for the kidnapping and murder of Foley, who was kidnapped in 2014 and videotaped while being beheaded by his ISIS captors while kneeling and wearing an orange jumpsuit.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin. A judge has given the Justice Department until next Thursday to propose redactions to black out parts of the affidavit that led to the search warrant and FBI raid of former President Trump's Florida home. The DOJ fears the release will jeopardize the investigation. GOP Senator Chuck Grassley tells Fox the more that's public, the better.
There's evidence of the handle one thing one way for Democrats and another thing for Republicans.
There may be a way to stretch the monkeypox vaccine supply by giving smaller doses. The European Medicines Agency says that appears to be still effective to fight the virus that has spread globally so far among mostly men who have sex with men. There are more than 14,000 cases in the U.S. President Biden is still on vacation, but he's planning a summit next month to push what he's been campaigning on, unity.
He will host civil rights groups, faith leaders, law enforcement officers, gun violence prevention advocates, and former members of hate groups at the event on September 15th.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. If you have an iPhone, and millions of us do, or an iPad or a Mac laptop, Apple says it is time to update them now, warning of a security flaw. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They don't have confidence. It's sunny and 78 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. The police union here in Indianapolis planning a vote of no confidence in Marion County's judicial system, singling out Prosecutor Ryan Mears and county judges.
We've documented story after story for 3 years now that are heinous incidents that have resulted in serious bodily injury or death of victims throughout our community.
FOP President Rick Snyder talking to Guy Relford on Tony Katz today. He says repeat violent offenders are to blame for most of the violence, especially when it comes to shootings of police officers. Speaking of, the man accused of wounding Officer Sierra Burton in Richmond will go before a judge for the first time today. Philip Lee has a long rap sheet with various crimes that he's been convicted of. Burton is still laid up in an Ohio hospital in bad shape, but alive. A babysitter for a special needs child has been sentenced to prison for rape. Parker Carlson reports.
Stephanie Bradshaw was trusted to be a babysitter for the special needs minor, him being nonverbal and having autism. However, the parents used surveillance footage they kept around the house to discover that she raped him. When confronted by police, Bradshaw told them that he wanted it and that he was handsy with her and that she wanted to give him a sexual experience. On Thursday, Bradshaw was sentenced to 3 years in prison, though it was reduced, and 3 years probation. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A teenage boy hurt on his ATV in southern Vermilion County. Police say he was hit by a car at an intersection Thursday afternoon, driven by Donovan Helton. He was found to be high at the wheel when he was arrested, and the boy survived but had to be airlifted to an Indianapolis hospital. We've been mostly dry all week, but that might change tomorrow.
Right now, it looks like the best likelihood for rain will be in the north and northwestern sections, but there is a chance of rain basically in all of Indiana.
Matt Etkoff with the National Weather Service. He says the chances for severe weather are low, but not ruled out. I'm Kurt Darling on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
My name is Megan Davis, and I am the Director of Training and Communications here at the Humane Society for Hamilton County. We nominated Trudy because she truly embodies our mission and message of whatever it takes.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
I think what the most important thing to me is when we get dogs in that are so scared, I just love to take these dogs under my wing. I need my vehicle to be in top shape because I'm driving here 6 days a week.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more, as well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, August 19th, and things that are trending this hour. Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns quarterback, has been suspended for 11 games and fined $5 million after the settlement with him in the NFL. Also trending, and this is a first, the city of Indianapolis.
Oh.
That's not the first part. The first part was that it was an article from WIBC that made the Twitter trending page.
Oh, wow.
The article is about rudeness. Some cities are rude and crude. This survey says Indianapolis is polite, just right, and out of sight.
Well, they apparently have never been to Indianapolis after about 8 p.m.
You can read this article on WIBC.com.
Nor did they spend a lot of time here in late May, early June of 2020.
Finally trending this hour, Triple Play, Field of Dreams Whiskey Company. This is the Whiskey Palmer. Hammer decided to share the beverages with the Kendall and Casey show. It's the last hour of the show on a Friday, and we're cocktailing.
Casey is holding it up to, or was holding it up to the video camera there for the YouTube. This is done by our old friend Drew Storen of Brownsburg. Now was a Major League Baseball player, and he was with Hammer and Nigel yesterday. He has this new whiskey company. It's called drinkfieldofdreams.com. You can check it out for yourself. And Casey and Kevin are chugging their Drink Field of Dreams. So I may be doing this last hour on my own.
Yeah, I'm already feeling a buzz.
The wheels could fall off very quickly.
Kevin's got his shirt off. He's running around the studio.
Swinging it around. I'm going crazy.
Oh, no. It's 7 minutes after 11. This is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. We start off the hour with a confused Nancy Fancy Pants Pelosi. No, that was a tongue twister. That had nothing to do with the sip of whiskey. She can't remember when Biden signed the bill. She confuses it with Ireland. And then she says that climate change causes diversity problems.
Oh, she checked all the boxes.
Yeah. Do you remember when she said that Mother Earth is angry?
Oh, yes.
So we have to put in $370 billion in combating climate change and promoting energy reform. Let's listen to Nancy.
A couple of days ago, yesterday, 2 days ago, the president signing the IRA, not to be confused with anything going on in Ireland, but the Inflation Reduction Act. In that bill, he has $60 billion for diversity as we meet the challenge of the climate crisis, directly connected, as you mentioned, to what we're doing here.
Why does she always sound like she's just had a whole bunch of Field of Dreams whiskey? Have you ever noticed that?
Yes.
I mean, and I have a question, and this may be an insensitive question to ask, but I have scan my brain back and forth, left to right, east to west, north to south, and I cannot understand this. So, Casey, you will need to help me.
I'll do my best.
What does diversity have to do with the climate?
Yes.
Is the implication that white or black or brown people have different impacts on the climate based on the color of their skin?
Is she implying that the color of your skin affects your carbon footprint?
Yes, I don't know. This is, and I just, and I get it. I am a small thinker, and I don't see the big picture like someone with the IQ level of a Nancy Pelosi does.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone could fill me in on how diversity and the climate run together, I'd love to know that.
I almost feel like she's trying to make a sentence using as many buzzwords
right.
as she can.
Right.
Just to get people's attention, although they have nothing to do with one another.
Yes, let's check as many of the boxes as possible.
I was curious about if, in fact, she is not the Speaker of the House after midterms, what would happen? Would she retire? Will she stay in a lesser role? And I came across one potential successor for her.
Oh.
Who she herself has said may be her successor.
Oh.
You're going to love this.
Great. Lay it on me.
It's her daughter.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Let's just keep it all in the family,
well,
right?
What would a person with no applicable skill sets do? Like, what would she do? She's 82, 83.
Retire.
No, Casey. That's not how that works.
Spend all of her money.
People like Nancy Pelosi get great joy out of being able to put their thumb on ordinary people. And if you're retired, you cannot put your thumb on ordinary people. I would be, because remember, the whole deal when she got to be Speaker again, when the Democrats took the House back in 2018 was, I just want 2 more terms.
Right.
And then that's it.
Right.
And then I will ride off into the sunset. And it appears we are through the 2 terms.
Yes.
And she is not through nor riding off into the sunset.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is she going to ride off into the sunset like she said she would?
It is almost like you cannot trust the politicians.
Almost. It's 11 minutes after 11. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. Thanks for joining us, by the way. And thanks for watching on YouTube. If you'd like to do that, all you have to do is type in Kendall and Casey WIBC in the YouTube search bar. We appreciate you being here. Let's talk about home sales. Sales of previously owned homes fell 6% in July compared to June. And this is according to a monthly report from the National Association of Realtors. Of course, mortgage rates have spiked in June. The average rate on a 30-year fixed loan is crossing the 6% threshold.
Right.
There were 1.31 million homes for sale the end of July. There's a 3-month supply of homes out there for people to purchase. And the median price of a home sold in July was $403,800. That was an increase of 10.8% year over year.
Okay, so this is interesting for a variety of reasons. Number one is that home sales are dropping, but the price of homes are not dropping substantially, if at all. And it is this very bizarre, actually pretty scary period in which, because of the rise in interest rates and because of the mass amount of people who influxed themselves into homes because the government manipulated the money supply. Look, society generally works itself out if you leave it alone, right? The premise of society is pretty easy in a capitalistic society, or at least a society that pretends to be capitalistic like America. You go somewhere, you work, you get paid for the work, you're reasonably smart with your money, you save up some money, you have a reliable work history, you have a reliable income stream, and that reliability in terms of work allows you to leverage that into a large purchase or purchases. So for most people, it's your car and your home. And if the government just leaves everything alone, that the majority of the time will work itself out in terms of banks are risk assessors, right? They're not running soup kitchens. They're in it to make money. So they will assess work history and income, and the reliability that they will get their money back and make money over the course of time. It's a very simple premise. The problem is that the government keeps inserting itself into society based on what they want to have happen, rewarding or manipulating specific behavior. The last housing crisis in 2008, the last recession, because of what? Government manipulation, forcing banks to give loans to people who should not have been getting loans, and then banks saying, we don't want to do this. There's stupid suckers over here who will buy these loans, so let's give them out as fast as we possibly can to make the government happy, and then we'll sell them, and what happened? The economy collapsed. What's happening now? Government put people in homes, or at least homes they shouldn't probably be in, based on making interest rates very low. Now people are stuck in those homes because now that they've raised the interest rate, you will not sell the home for what you bought it for. Never, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 never. Likely consult your trained real estate professional. Mark Diedel's great. But now the money is so expensive, people cannot afford to buy homes because you had to overcorrect to fix your previous manipulation of the economy. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. A typical home in July went under contract in 14 days. Now, here's my question. And I went round and round with the associate last night about this headline. And this is one of two things. It either needs to have a new name, and I don't mean to sound like the Biden administration rebranding the word recession, or this headline is just poorly written. But the headline for the article, and this is from CNBC, says, home sales fell nearly 6% in July as housing market slides into a recession. Okay, well, if you think about it, a recession, and let's take stocks, for example. You would say that the stock market is in a recession not because there are fewer transactions, but because the value of the stock went down.
Right.
Right? That's a recession. In regards to the housing market, the price of the house, the value of the house isn't going down. In fact, it's going up.
Right.
So how do you say it's a recession? It's not based on transactions.
Right. Well, and again, we're taking the word of a news agency, and we've all warned our audience repeatedly about that. So you can call it comes back to, again, it's just the same thing with the economy. Call it recession, call it depression, call it bananas, call it grapes, call it Uno Gold. You can call it whatever you want. The point is, there is a major issue now in this sector of the economy, and just like in 2008, it is almost exclusively the fault of the government because they manipulated and meddled in the economy and this sector of the economy. And why we keep thinking it's a good idea for this to happen is beyond me.
He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and I feel like we need to have the Blues Clues. Did you ever see Blues Clues when you were young?
I'm an adult man.
It's mail time.
I'm a grown-ass man.
That's right. I had a young child. We would watch the Blues Clues, and there is a little theme song they had, Mail Time. The mail is here.
Oh, we got some great mail.
Yeah, we've got some mail. That's what I'm getting to.
We got some love mail. We got some hate mail. Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah, and we're going to get to both of them coming up from 93 WIBC.
Strange things can turn your day upside down.
There are some really strange things going on around here.
Scary weather.
It's been a dangerous weather day. Severe storms.
And unexplained backup.
Eastbound 465 from Keystone Avenue.
Sudden unforeseen events. When you binge our updates.
We're following breaking news.
At the top and bottom of the hour, you're more prepared for life's stranger things.
It's important to know what's going on
every day. 93 WIBC.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Tired of companies like Google and Facebook watching everything you do online? There's actually a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more. All for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
A $2,000 energy-saving credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient windows, siding, and doors. Up to $2,000 energy credit and no payments, no interest for up to 22 months.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Todd Young surprised many of his constituents when he stopped by a gas station to help people pump gas. He wanted to talk about the issues. They temporarily dropped the price of gas to $2.38 a gallon.
Oh.
And then he stood there and asked him how things were going.
Okay, so a couple of things. People, by the way, hello to everybody watching in the YouTube chat. We appreciate you. Just put Kendall and Casey, WIBC in there. While you're there, please hit that like button. People have lamented a couple of things, and these are things we did for a long time on various incarnations of this 9 to noon time slot when the two women were here. I forget the name of that show. And then we did the Mock and Rob show. We did it, and they were fan favorites. And I don't realize, Casey, what a profound impact I have on society until certain things go away for a while. And then you hear from the people how much you mean to their daily lives.
They missed these things.
Well, and one of them was reading the correspondence that we get from listeners via electronic mail, love mail, hate mail. And then the other thing is the voicemails. And did you know, I don't think we'd ever discussed this with you. We have a voicemail hotline set up. And so in short order, we're going to bring that back.
Yeah, Matt just told me about that yesterday.
Yes, so we will set that up, and I think next week we're going to bring that up. And yes, I've heard from people about the books. My books, I will get you information on how you can get them early next week. I had a bajillion things going on. High school football starts tonight. As many of you know, I own a little side business that broadcasts high school football across the fruited plain, and so I got very busy with that. But yes, we will have information coming up next week on how you can get the books, and it will involve a phone call from me. So we'll have all that. Okay, so we got some mail that I wanted to read, and we may only have time in this segment to get to one because the hate mail is epic beyond belief. And so we may need to move that to the next segment.
Okay.
But I wanted to read the love mail because, as you know, we have mentioned for better part of a month now that, of course, I, to the benefit of our audience, risked life and limb and very expensive gasoline to head out to Plainfield to head to the Stack's Pancake House to see the old Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young, give a little speech / pep rally / rah-rah session. I don't think the people there knew that was what that was supposed to be because a lot of them were really upset with him. And in the interest of transparency, I attempted to film the event so no one could say, well, Rob Kendall, he is just lying. He is misleading the public.
That never happened.
And amongst many other times while I was there, I was treated very poorly by Igor, Todd's assistant, who part of what he did was he banned anyone from filming the event. And we have lamented many times that I have had to tell this story from my very flawless, fabulous, ironclad memory. And we would have loved nothing more than to have played some of these things for you, in which Todd told a room full of people that he was never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, ever, 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 never stopping when it comes to spending money. He's added $11 trillion to the debt. He didn't dispute. I think it was a little over 10 at the time. Todd's been on a little spending spree with that CHIPS bill. But he didn't dispute it. Didn't deny it, didn't say, Rob, you are just wrong, and I'm tired of your lies. He owned it.
Yeah.
He said he's never stopping. If you send him back to Washington, D.C., he will keep adding to the national debt. He's never stopping. And I said, there is a room full of people who saw this, and maybe someday we'll hear from these people to ensure that I am not lying. And, well, what do you know, Casey?
Lo and behold.
We got a correspondence from someone who was at the event who, it turns out, has a bootleg recording of the event.
I just got goosebumps.
I'm not going to use this person's name because they should not be subjected to tarring and feathering or what else would come with being against the Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young, because we all know how the establishment plays when you speak out against them. And we don't want them to be held against them that they're a mega fan of the show, even though we know everyone is a mega fan of the show. So I will use blank instead of the person's name. All right? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Blank here. I sat across the aisle from you at Stack's Pancake House in Plainfield when Senator Todd Young blew smoke up our asses when you grilled him on deficit spending. I have heard you mention on air several times you couldn't get video of it. I got shut down too by his goon. Well, here's the audio. The Hearts and Flowers ends and the fun begins at 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Enjoy! Blank. So, I got this late yesterday.
Yeah.
I have not had a chance to listen to it yet. But I am very much hoping that the audio is clear enough that we can, even if we got to amplify it or whatever, and this will take a little time to do, but that way going forward, we can play the old Duke of Spendingburg, letting the room full of people know. And it is nice to have confirmation from people who were there. I think the term this person used was blew smoke up our asses. That everything I'm telling you is what happened and what a gigantic, colossal, awful, horrific representation of you and your money Todd Young is.
I can't wait to hear the audio. I wonder if you're in it.
Well,
like
I would hope so, and so I will. If this weekend, if I can get to it, I will play it. We'll see if it's usable, and it's very good to know that many people in that room, as we already do, were completely on our side and appalled at the behavior of Todd Young.
Somebody was looking out. It seems to me that maybe the interaction between you and Todd Young is on this.
Well, I hope so.
Because our friend says the fun begins at 29.
Only one way to find out. I will listen. I will forward it over to you, Casey. We'll see if we can extract that. Now, we have some epic hate mail to get to.
Yeah. And now there's conversely, the other end with the hate mail. You going to do that one next?
Yes. Someone is very, very mad at me. They are mad at my existence. They are mad at Micah. They're very passionate about Kroger and Marsh.
Okay.
It is a gobbly. It is a group of gibberish.
And you know what? And for a second there, I thought this person was throwing me and Mock and the chicks all in the pot together, but it was a completely different issue. I'm glad we got that figured out.
You will love this, and we will get to it when we come back.
All right. It's 93 WIBC.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com and keep your cool. We're
always on time or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today. Then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Hi, honey.
Mom, I'm glad you figured out the video call. What's all that noise?
Oh, that. Your room will soon be a fitness studio.
My room? What?
Yeah, it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, honey, the hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything you need, even hot tubs. Learn more at lakecitybank.com or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
As a parent, you want the best education for your child. Choose Marian University Preparatory School for this school year. Their faith-based online private school is currently enrolling students in grades 6 through 9. Your child will benefit from their personalized college prep curriculum and supportive community. Financial aid is available through the Indiana Choice Scholarship. To learn more about the unique educational experience of Marian University Preparatory School, visit k12.com/Marian. That's k12.com/MARIAN. Plan your fall stay in the Brown County woods with Hills of Brown Vacation Rentals. The stunning fall colors, beautiful views, and crisp fall air. Do some shopping in Nashville. Enjoy a hike or drive on the Brown County back roads. Then cozy up in a cabin rental through Hills of Brown Vacation Rentals. Cabins of all sizes, seclusion in the woods, or stay in Nashville near all the quaint shops. Many cabins with hot tubs and game rooms. Cabins are booking quickly at browncountylogcabins.com. browncountylogcabins.com.
Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. And I can structure that loan where you can miss a few months of mortgage payments. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
Marian University Preparatory School is a faith-based online private school currently enrolling grades 6 to 9. Financial aid is available. Visit k12.com/Marian, k12.com/MARIAN.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The connection to the southern border. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. The number of illegal immigrants who are turning up on the terror watch list is rising. There were 10 more in July, and Congressman Tony Gonzalez says this isn't being taken seriously by the White House. The Texas Republican says half of those arrested in July weren't from either Mexico or the Northern Triangle countries of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. 18 migrants have been found dead in border counties this month. Rain could affect your weekend.
Right now, it looks like the best likelihood for rain will be in the north and northwestern sections, but there is a chance of rain basically in all of Indiana.
Matt Etkoff with the National Weather Service says it'll move in Saturday and stick around through a portion of Sunday. He says the chances for severe weather are minimal, though. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, 11:31, and it's time to get to some hate mail.
Yeah! All right, so...
I know you live for this.
Yeah, I mean, it is... I can't tell you, Casey, the joy I get in knowing that people who I clearly make completely miserable are consumed and obsessed with me, us, and listen every day for 3 hours every day. I love every listener. And, just like Jesus loved the little children, I love all of you. And you're all wonderful. But the hate listeners hold a special place in my heart. And this goes back to when I was an elected official. And, I used to get great joy when people would come up to a podium. Usually people who were into big government were mad that we were taking away the big government that they preferred, and they would come and they'd pound a podium and they'd scream and yell and call me all sorts of names. And the joy I would get just sitting there quietly and smiling at them, knowing that smile was ruining their day. And so we have long said that if you send mail, hate mail goes right to the front of the line because nothing makes me more happy. And it also shows that there are some very interesting people out maneuvering and functioning in our society amongst the masses. And you want to ask this person, what is wrong with you? Like, what happened to you to lead you to this path that a radio broadcaster and a radio show drives you to this level of rage and anger?
So sorry someone hurt you.
And it's amazing because you're so damn nice. We balance each other out so well.
You're the darkness, I'm the light.
Yeah, exactly. And so yesterday, I was lamenting, and I got several emails from people praising me for lamenting the condition of the southeast side of my beloved Brownsburg, and how the wizards of smart who run our community have, just let that go to complete trash. And one of the main reasons is the old Marsh building, which was acquired, I think was the word I used, by Kroger years ago in Kroger's acquisition of Marsh. It has been left empty.
Right.
Kroger had an interest in letting these Marsh buildings they acquired either through lease or purchase or whatever go empty, because then Kroger, in a great business decision, now had a monopoly on groceries in communities like Brownsburg, where now it's Walmart or Kroger, pick 'em. There's no other competition.
So now this building is sitting empty.
Right, what you would call an anchor building, in which things pop up around it, little stores, etc., because there's a flood of people coming to this store, and they might see, oh, I'm going to get to buy a bite to eat while I'm here, or I need to do some trinket shopping, or whatever. That is how you grow areas, through anchor stores. And when your anchor store sits empty, not only does the blight set in and the back of the building has got graffiti and there's weeds growing in the parking lot, but all those other businesses have trouble staying in business because there's no anchor store to attract people. And I said, if the local leaders in our community could find it in their spare time to get off their backsides and maybe do something about facilitating something happening in that building, that would be very helpful, because that's the side of town I live on, and the blight just isn't doing it for me.
Right. It's an eyesore.
Does any of that sound unreasonable?
No.
Okay. Now, before we read this hate mail, which will shock you, is completely off base in terms of factual relevance, and this will shock everyone when you hear the hate and rage coming from this person. Let's go to an old article posted from andnowyouKnow.com, dated Thursday, July 20th, 2017. Eva Rothler is the writer of this article. And I'm just going to read you the opening paragraph so that we can, what would seem to establish Marshes were acquired by Kroger.
Right.
Okay, shall we go?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to read this first. No music needed for this. Following last month's $16 million purchase of 11 Marsh supermarkets by Topvalco, a Kroger subsidiary, the chain has released much-anticipated plans for the stores. After finalizing the sale, Kroger revealed on Wednesday that it would prioritize reopening of 7 of those stores and spend $20 million to renovate. So I'm seeing the following words there. Purchase.
Yep.
Finalizing the sale. Prioritize reopening 7 of the stores. Did you read that as well, Casey?
I got it. $16 million purchase of 11 Marsh supermarkets by a Kroger subsidiary.
Okay, and they actually, in this article, the 7 stores identified for reopening are, and what's the store there at the top of the list there, Casey, that you see when they list the 7 stores identified for reopening are...
It's Brownsburg.
843 East Main Street in Brownsburg. So it would make it reasonable to assume, with all the words I just put there and the fact that the Marsh was listed there and IBJ is referenced in the article, that Kroger acquired Marshes and that this Marsh was one of the ones they acquired. Okay, we're all in agreement on that.
Got it.
That is basically in dispute. Okay, here we go. All right. So with that, I got this lovely piece of mail from a listener who did not identify themselves in anonymous mail. Is always the boldest, most preferred form of mail, because that's a really tough guy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Let her rip.
Kroger didn't buy Marsh. Marsh went bankrupt and is gone forever. Some companies bought the buildings the Marsh stores were in, including Kroger. But Kroger didn't buy Marsh. Maybe research your facts before peddling false information. Maybe stop spending time sucking up to that delusional and sexist pastor who thinks God actually talks to him and came in third place to 2 women. His delusional state is rubbing off on you.
Why does he have to drag in Micah?
So somehow we jumped from being wrong about Kroger and Marsh, which based on the article I just read to you, we were clearly not, to Micah being the worst human being that ever lived.
Wow.
Okay, so Micah, and I sent this to Micah, by the way, and I said, Micah,
what did he say?
Here's your fan mail. He said, I can't wait to listen to today's show. Micah ran for U.S. Congress in 2020. He finished, there were like 15 people running, maybe not quite that many, but I think more than 10 were running. He got 3rd place. And he lost. The 2 people who finished ahead of him were Victoria Spartz and a woman named Beth Henderson, who were infinitely wealthy and spent collectively, I'm guessing probably
lot of money.
But several $1 million of their own money, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it's not like Micah beat very well-known people, including the current state treasurer, Kelly Mitchell. He beat Carl Brizzi, a bevy of people Micah finished far ahead of. There was nothing to be ashamed of, especially when the two front runners finished ahead of you were independently wealthy, spending gobs and gobs of their own money.
Yeah, it was a very good showing. He did very well.
But for some reason, this person really hates Micah.
He's got a really big problem with that. And that's what I was texting you about last night when we were going over this. Who's he talking about? Who are the two women? Because for a split second, I thought this angry letter writer was talking about me. And I thought, game on. Let's go.
So this is you have met Micah. Well, I don't know if you met Micah in person, but you've had several phone conversations with him. Have you ever heard Micah say anything that remotely resembles being sexist?
No.
I mean, is he ever? I've known Micah for two-ish years now, and I've never heard him and been around him a whole bunch.
No.
How do you transition from being mad wrongly about Kroger and Marsh?
And why is that getting him so upset?
Yes, what is it about that? That was, of all the things, the highly inflammatory...
That was the trigger?
The highly inflammatory things I say on this show every day, and it was Marsh and Kroger.
And you were not wrong.
By the way, somebody had said that building is now being leased out to someone who is yet to be disclosed. So hopefully it's someone good, because the east side of Brownsburg really needs some help.
Hopefully they'll clean it up for you.
Oh, Micah's in the chat right now, by the way.
Oh, no, is he? I hope he's sticking up for himself.
That was good. That was good stuff. All right. Now, normally we do this segment a little longer, but when we come back, Casey, Kevin is so nervous about this. Because
I'm nervous about this.
That's excitement.
Kevin is Mr. Private and Mr. just keeps to himself. But we had a fascinating pre-show conversation that really sparked what I think is a groundbreaking question on etiquette that I think our audience will need to weigh in on.
Okay.
Because this could alter someone's dating future going forward. Are you ready for this?
If you are.
All right. Well, why don't we take a break and then we'll get to it when we come back.
All right. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. The biggest stories of the day, plus Abdul, Coach Dockich, and Beer Sample Friday. 93 WIBC.
What does Hancock Health's membership in the Mayo Clinic Care Network mean for you? It means our independent health network now has access to the knowledge and resources of the world leader in medicine. It means your Hancock Health doctor can now consult with Mayo Clinic specialists to confirm a diagnosis or treatment plan. And it means that together, we're making health possible for you. Learn more about our new clinical collaboration at hancockregional.org/Mayo Clinic.
You asked, we toasted. That's right. Breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. Wake up with your favorite today, like the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Freshly toasted and topped with a tender, juicy steak patty, a fluffy folded egg, melty American cheese, and grilled onions. Or enjoy other classic combinations like the sausage, egg, and cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese. When you're all finished, you will be wishing it was morning. All over again. Breakfast hours only at participating McDonald's.
Old National Bank is asking businesses to get old. But first, they have questions.
Who runs my business if I get old?
You do. You can get old and remain young.
Is that possible?
With a commercial bank as good as Old National, yes.
What will it feel like to get old?
Well, business owners describe a feeling of euphoria, having local decision-making and committed relationship bankers.
Okay, one old guy coming up.
Introducing Old National Bank, where business relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
500 Guns is just east of the Speedway and the Viaduct on 16th Street. Joe and Guy Montgomery are the experts to trust when you want to buy or sell guns. They buy single guns or entire collections. If you've decided this is the year to become a gun owner or to add to your collection, don't buy until you visit 500 Guns. Contrary to what many think, you actually can get better pricing at 500 Guns than at the big box stores, and a lot better service. See them today. 500 Guns, West 16th Street, Indianapolis.
As you know, I had my garage floor coated with Galaxy concrete coatings a while back. And like anyone, I did some homework before I said, let's do this. Here are some things that I found out. First, Galaxy concrete coatings is local and ready to give you and all of Indianapolis a transformation. Next, Galaxy concrete coatings is 4 times stronger than epoxy. And it's designed to not only work in your garage, but they can also use it on driveways, walkways, around your pool or patio. With it being UV resistant, it will not yellow. Oh, and it's ready to go in 24 hours, so you can drive, walk, run, dance, splash on it right away. Now for my fun part. I got you 15% off. Just tell them when you call 317-751-9070, you want the Casey deal. You got to tell them the Casey deal for 15% off. And check out their site at galaxyconcretecoatings.com. They are truly out of this world.
Here's Terry Stacy to tell you what's going on with WIBC.
Make sure you follow WIBC on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for your chance to win tickets, other prizes, and stay up to date on the most current news in Indy. Check out our website to see where the next Home and Garden Show on the road will be. Live every Saturday starting at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to tune in to Pat, Denny, and the gang on 93 WIBC.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
Join the Sertoma Club of Greenwood for WhamFest, a festival of wine, art, music, and microbrew. This Saturday, August 20th, noon to 9 p.m. at Craig Park in Greenwood. Presented by the Ray Skillman Automotive Group. Tickets at whamfest.com.
Thinking of you's working up my
Oh, Kevin, nice choice in music. You're doing an excellent job producing today. By the way, all week long. It's 11:45. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. Somebody mentioned once after they viewed us on YouTube, which you can do, just type in Kendall and Casey WIBC in the YouTube search bar, that they see us talking during the commercials or off air sometimes, and they wish that they could hear some of our off air conversations. Some of them you cannot. Some you can, and then sometimes those off air conversations turn into on-air conversations, and this is one of those times.
Here you go, boys and girls. We do read the comments. We do occasionally try to make you happy as best we can. So here you go, by request. So, Kevin, what are you, Kevin? 27?
Yeah, I'm 27.
Okay, so Kevin and I were having a conversation, and I feel like good in my existence now because I'm entering, as we talked about, the mentoring phase of my life. And I think what started this is we were talking about how I have always been predominantly younger in radio, because I started when I was 18.
Yeah.
Like I have always been overwhelmingly the youngest person is any part of any air staff. And in terms of our on-air air staff here, I'm still the Monday through Friday overwhelmingly the youngest. Yeah. But that gap is starting to close as I enter my late 30s. And eventually somebody will be hired here as a regular on-air person who will be younger than me, and that'll be a midlife crisis moment.
I still have that problem every single day, being the youngest person.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kevin and I were talking about various things about phases of your life. Mm-hmm. And I said, Kevin is in a perfect position in terms of his social life because he's old enough to have learned some tricks of the trade and learned how to see through things and learn how to see past things. Yet he's at an age where he's still young enough, if he so desires, to be a part of the You Out With Me, You Out Till 3 club. And so I said, when I was Kevin's age, I was in a utopian existence because when I was 27, I could tell people, hey, I got taxing authority. Hey, you like your water turning on? I make that happen.
Right.
And
that was your pickup line.
And I milked that to the best of my ability and sometimes to far more success with the relationships with the opposite sex than I ever should have had. And so I was giving Kevin some life advice, and we were talking about...
As you do every morning, by the way.
Kevin is a far better person than he was before he met me.
You got a wealth of knowledge that you just share with me every morning.
And I give it all to Kevin, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not afraid to lay out failures. I'm not afraid to, I'm very humble, but I will begrudgingly mention successes.
And you know what Kevin has said when I've tried to give him advice? He said, I'd rather take advice from the fisherman, not the fish.
Yeah, it's true.
So... we got on somehow various interactions we've had with members of the opposite sex at parties over the years. And I told him about this interaction that I had, and then it sparked a very interesting etiquette question that I was asked years ago. I didn't have a great answer for, put in my pocket, and now that we have this powerful radio show, I thought it'd be a good time to pull it back out.
What better platform?
And ask here and let our audience participate in this. So, I was at a party, as I said,
This is when you were single, years ago.
Yes. And so as a result, I was interacting with various people, and I started talking to a lady who was at the party. And I'm asking her, what do you do for a job? All sorts of things. It's just,
it's conversation.
Great,
get to know you.
Nice back and forth. I'm not pursuing anything. We're just having a conversation. And this person proceeds to tell me the job they have, and they're being very vague about what they do. And that's fine. A lot of people are very, skeptical to reveal things about themselves in the beginning and whatever. And I'm looking at this person going, this person looks familiar. Stop! This person looks familiar.
Yeah.
But, you meet lots of people, you see lots of people, whatever.
Sure.
So conversation goes.
Maybe she just had one of those faces.
Exactly, right. So the conversation goes on, it's fine, done, whatever. And then, as so often happen from the people of my generation, you become friends with that person on Facebook. And no big deal, no whatever, nothing ever came of it. I did not engage in relations of any sort with this person. And so then, I don't know, a couple weeks later, a friend / coworker at the time goes, hey, how do you know blank? And I said, oh, well, I met this person at a party. They were very nice. They seemed cool. Are you dating this person? I said, no, we're just friends. And he said, well, you know who that person is? And I said, well, it's this person.
Her name.
And he said, no. It's not just this person. This is the other name this person goes by.
So she has an alias.
And I said, what do you mean this person goes by? And he proceeded to inform me that this person had been previously, was not now, but had been previously, a member of the adult film community.
There it is.
And I said, there is no way that's true. The person proceeded to show me
evidence
that indeed that was true. It was definitely the person in question.
Which would explain why she was being so vague about what she did for a living.
Very well could have been. And again, this person was super nice. It was a super positive interaction. You never would have known it if you had not done the research.
And I was fascinated by this, so I took to the internet and I did a little research on Boopedia, and I gotta say, she's got some very impressive
All right,
stats.
Kevin. Okay, Kevin.
Statistics.
So then it prompted a conversation that my friend and I had at the time about if you were dating someone who is not like openly, like if you were with Jenna Jameson or, whoever your favorite.
Ron Jeremy.
Well, yes, whoever your favorite. I know what this person does for a living. You don't have this conversation, but if you end up with someone who was in that industry but is not anymore, at what point would they have an obligation to disclose to you, I did
their background.
This. Yeah. And I put that in my back pocket, and I thought this will never come of any use to me, this conversation, other than when I had it with my friend all those years ago. But now that Kevin and I got on this topic, I thought, and it was a good conversation.
Now that you're mentoring him, and who knows who's he's meeting,
and
right?
you got involved in this conversation. I thought you had a great take on it.
Dragged into this conversation.
At what point would you have to disclose to someone that you had this background?
Past. Yeah. And my answer was as soon as one of the party members wants to be monogamous or have an official relationship.
Okay.
When the guy says, hey, you want to be my girlfriend?
Right.
I think it's on her at that point to say, I do. However, I think you need to know this. and then go from there.
I think that's
see if he still wants to be in the monogamous relationship.
I think that's a fair criteria that you've laid out.
Because if you're just casually dating off and on for months, for years, whatever, they're not being serious about you. You're not being serious about them. They don't need to know everything.
And this is what Kevin and I went back and forth on, because this person, it's not like this person has committed a crime.
Right.
They've done nothing wrong. In fact, many people will say they contributed in some facet to society. The issue is, though, it's not something like, oh my gosh, I got a speeding ticket, or it is a personal issue that involves intimacy, or could involve intimacy, that I would feel the person you're with does have a right to know.
Because they could be on the internet one day and all of a sudden something pops up.
Right.
And that's my girlfriend. That's my fiance. I never knew. Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
You have to be upfront with that information.
Yeah, especially if you're going to start a family with them.
Right. Well, and that's the point, is how long down the dating line do you go before you're like, this person, if they're going to be with you, great. God bless if that works out, phenomenal, wonderful. But that person, even if it's a month in, now you said when it's an official relationship.
Yeah.
But if the person's even going to put a month's worth of effort into it, don't you have an obligation to put the big issue out there up front to see if it's even worth? I mean, from your own perspective, would you want to put a month's worth of effort into something?
Yeah. If to find out, oh my gosh, they may not have the same moral convictions.
Exactly. And
as
if they're going to leave, what if they're not going to be with me, or they can't deal with this or whatever?
Right.
Wouldn't you have wouldn't it be better for both of you to put it out there right away? But then it comes like, you can't do it in the opening. Because clearly this person was out of this business. They'd gone on to a very fine professional career. They were not touting it, whatever.
Well, you could be with somebody for months and months, but yet it still just remains casual, and there's no intention to take things any further.
No, we know how Casey's dating career
They don't
went.
need to know. They don't need to know, but I think it's when one of the parties says, yeah, I'm going to take the next step. I want this to be serious or monogamous. It's just you and I, we're in this together. That's the point where but you need to know this.
Yeah, I would think.
You can't base it on a time,
This
a length
is weird.
of time.
This is weird, but I'm going to be stricter than you on this. I think a weekend you got to tell the person.
Really?
Because that way you get to know whether a week's worth of dating, you know whether you can kind of, is this a quasi-trustworthy person? Is this a person I have a bond with? Is this a person that I'm worth, or I find worth actively pursuing?
Right.
Maybe a week's too fast. Maybe 2 weeks. I don't know, but I think like a serious relationship, that's a lot of effort to get to that point of we're exclusive. So it's in a
Kevin, did you weigh in on this?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Kevin?
This is affecting you.
This is you. We're doing this for you.
Right. This is
I'm just like a fly on the wall. This is a great conversation.
But you're the only one that matters here, Kevin.
You're the one who's out there.
Well, I don't know. I kind of agree with both of you guys, but now I'm starting to think that Rob makes more sense, because if you're going to be buying dinner and going the extra mile to
super liberal Casey over here, just tell me whenever you get around to it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, you know what, Kevin, if you're out there dating 2 or 3 women, they don't have any obligation to tell you about their past life. If you're not serious about them, why are they going to offer information about their lives and be serious about you? When you go to them and say, hey, I really like you a lot, I want you to be my girlfriend, then that's the time you go, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let me tell you this information to see if you still want me as your girlfriend.
On every first date, I would just get it out in the open. I'm a hardcore right-wing conservative who hates the government. There, it's out there. Now you know.
We went a lot longer on this subject than I thought.
Casey's
we
like,
would. We are not doing 13 minutes on this. Oh boy, we're gonna hear about it later too. Hey, great week, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Good job, Rob. Good job, Kevin, and have a fantastic weekend. We're going to count on you to be back here Monday. It's 93 WIBC.
If you want to win at any game or competition, whether it's in sports, your career, your finances, you have to have a solid game plan. Retirement works the exact same way. If you want a winning retirement strategy, you need a great coach, a manager, an expert.
And that's where Brian Singer and the Singer Financial Group come in. The Singer Financial Group puts together the pieces of a comprehensive retirement plan to make sure that your retirement years are the best years of your life every day you wake up winning. Singer Financial can help you make the next chapter of your life whatever you want it to be. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com or call 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit. 317-852-9153. Find out how the Singer Financial Group can help you pursue the sweet life in retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
There is a lot depending on your heart. That's why we've put the experts and technology in place to provide the most advanced cardiology care in your neighborhood. From preventive care to life-saving interventions, Community Hospital Anderson provides the right care for your needs. With every heart we save, we prevent another from breaking. To learn more, visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialist can handle any AC repair. Call 855-1HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
A $2,000 energy-saving credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient view windows, siding, and doors. Up to $2,000 energy credit and no payments, no interest for up to 22 months.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up,
we have been the victim of a failed social experiment.
We care about our police officers.
1 week to offer a redacted version of the affidavit.
It's been over 3 years.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
What has shaken their confidence?
Partly cloudy, a high of 84. Clouds build in overnight, low of 65. Showers are likely tomorrow. I'm Sean Herrick.
And I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. The accused shooter of a Richmond police officer will go before a judge this afternoon in an initial hearing. Philip Lee of Richmond faces 2 counts of attempted murder. The officer that he's accused of shooting, Officer Sierra Burton, is still in bad shape at a hospital in Dayton.
Officer shootings recently have Indy police officers upset with prosecutors and judges in Marion County. They're planning a no-compromise